Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, and welcome. It's that time. That's right. It is time for Talk Tuesday. We're back at it once again where we have another fantastic all-star complement of an exciting guest coming to you. Welcome in, welcome in. Lovely to see you. Hello, Void Dragon Queen. Thank you for the lurk. DEFCON, how's it going, my friend? Our last week's Talk Tuesday contestant, Mr. DEFCON 01. If you don't remember that one, you should go check it out. Absolutely was a phenomenal time. Hello, Blondie. So good to see you. Liam, thank you for the lurk. And Babs, welcome in. Welcome in. Happy to see you here. Hello, Roar. Thank you for the lurk. Welcome in. Welcome in. That's right. Talk Tuesday. This is that fabulous time where we get to sit down with another extra special guest star. Who's that guest star tonight? Well, let me tell you about tonight's special guest. Tonight's special guest is a bit fuzzy and fluffy, but don't let that fool you. They've got the wits to battle and help Drew get a clue. While they may not have a proper shoe to get gum on it, you can always find him getting a helpful hand and improving their putting skills with their friends. No stranger to mech assembly and very skilled with their digits. You can find him serving up a woodland feast with some breakfast or attempting to be a plucky little squire. You know, those arrows fly all over the place. Don't mind the fact that they got a shot in the eye. Oh, no matter the logic device, Baba is still the robot and definitely not a puppet. This variety streamer is always an agent of chaos, even if not approved by Jim Henson. Whether alone or on the screen or with a collection of their friends, the good times are never at an end with the fabulously plushy figurine. Without any further ado, I present to you tonight's extra special guest for a hands-on demonstration, the one and only, the fabulous Allie Cutie Pie. Allie Cutie Pie, welcome to Talk Tuesday.
Nori, I'm literally crying from laughter. I was like trying to be seen. I was like, what? Okay, golf, Baba. I'm like piecing together things and being like, what game? Oh my god, you've done research. You're like the Nardward human serviette of streamers. Good god.
Hey, Voxbolt, welcome in. Super Guilford, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. Did you enjoy your introduction?
Yeah, but also you. So we talked about this right before stream that I can't take a fucking compliment. I can't take. I hope cursing's cool here. I can't take a fucking compliment, and I'm sitting there with like the meanest stank face I can muster, being like. It's so sweet and cute, but also, why is it so nice?
Well, you know, I do my research. I do look up. Look, you know, I hang out in the streams. Everybody who comes on Talk Tuesday, I am in their streams collecting all the information. I do a lot of research out of these things.
Oh,
you have no idea exactly.
What have I said recently? I'm so screwed. I have the kind of brain that like I'll speak during stream and then don't forget it 2 seconds later.
Oh, that's all right. I got
so notes. Whatever info you got, that shit's cleared from my brain already.
Yeah, I've got lots of notes. I have an entire notepad full of Allie references. No pressure. No pressure now.
Oh, good God.
I can hear her. I can hear you sweating already. Okay, let's go over the rules here because I didn't get a chance to really catch you up on all these before we get started. So you get the crash course in the rules. No Theum. So the way this works is there's a channel point redeem down there where everybody can submit. It's a 1 point channel point redeem, so anybody can ask a question. All you have to do is show up here, and you've already got the 10 points necessary to ask 10 questions of our guest. We only accept the questions through that. There's no need for you to try and keep up with the questions. I have a little program over here that captures all of those. Chat will get frisky and we'll get really fast, and so I will keep up with the questions, mostly because I also like to filter the questions because some questions just don't deserve an answer, or if they do, it deserves a joke answer. And so we won't feed them to you unless I think it's just a really funny question that deserves a really silly answer. In which
I
case,
tend to be
I will
an
give it
open
a
book,
silly
so
answer.
I can't wait to see what comes in.
Well, in cases like that, I will deliver a silly question. I will deliver a question and then immediately answer it with a silly answer. You are welcome to either jump in or chastise me, whichever suits your purposes. Entirely up to you. It depends on the moment.
Yes.
I get it.
Both.
I'm sorry, Zoda. Again, credit card numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's all we've ever been able to get out of anybody. You're just going to have to figure it out on your own.
So my social security number is right. You better have a notebook. Are you ready? 666, and that's it.
There you go. Thank you for the alert, Babs. So, but however, if for whatever reason I ask you a question that somehow manages to skip past my filters, for whatever reason, I don't think I didn't think if there's anything wrong with it or whatnot, and that can happen. You are always welcome to say no, and we will skip that question like it never happened. We will drop it like a hot potato. We won't even think about it. It's yesterday's news. It's gone in the trash bin. We forgot it almost immediately. So you're safe, right? So if you just say no, we'll skip it, move on. Exclamation puzzle in the chat. We'll get you a link to the puzzle that is would be on screen, except I let the thing go to sleep on me, so I have to get it back on screen. But beyond that, it's you and me for the next couple hours. There are 4 questions. You have 2 at the front, 2 at the back, and then you get to choose tonight's raid target, where we're going to send all this collection of fantastic people who have learned all about you and have peeled back the layers of fluff to get to the hand behind the scenes.
You know, it's the opposite. I'm going to say some really cursed stuff. Fair warning, chat. This is like the opposite of a fleshlight. It's like a little felt light, and you just got to you got to get to the middle. Look, I'm setting the tone really early here, Nori.
You're fine. You're fine. It's just fine. Yo, Azure Fennec, welcome in. It's just fine. This is an over 18 stream, so,
Oh, good.
You're just fine. There's a reason why why this is an over 18 stream, because, we're all adults here. And I don't guarantee anything. What's right?
See people that I know coming in, and I'm like in like slight panic mode. I'm like, oh no, anything I say will be weaponized against me now.
Entirely possible. I cannot protect you from weaponizations of your own actions, but
anything you say can and will be used against you in the court of Twitch.
It really will. It really will. So, with all that being said, that's basically the rules and regulations. If you have any questions, now's your time to ask them. Otherwise, we'll get you started.
No, I'm good. I'm ready to go.
You're good? You're good. Okay. Well, then, Allie Cutie Pie, or Allie, welcome officially to Talk Tuesday.
There's a drum roll happening in the back, but again, you guys can't see me. Yeah, exactly. Brain go.
No. They can see you now. We have done it. We have captured her.
This is my real face, friends. This is my real, actual face. Do you see this? Beautiful, gorgeous, actual face. No other faces should be thought of.
Uh-huh. I know better. I have seen the hand behind the mask.
You have. I did do an actual flesh reveal. That's never happening again. God forbid. Oh, I hated that so much. Yeah, I hated it so much. Like, that was a personal, ick for me,
Yeah. It's fine. Everybody has their personal. Like I couldn't decide whether or not I actually wanted to run camera myself. So I have a redeem on my channel. Normally it turns that thing on or off, and then people were like, "It costs so much to keep turning it on." I'm like, "Fine, here's one that's really expensive that'll leave it on all the stream." Like why do you? It's an ugly face. I promise. It doesn't get any better.
Flesh Reveal is not the title of my sex tape, as I am an ace person at Def, and my sex tape is just titled No.
That's a good.
No.
I didn't even realize that. Okay. We're learning things already, and we've just gotten started. Hey, hands off the questions, people. I get the first
a
two.
real
It's
question.
my
I was
show,
just like,
my-
I saw it in chat. And I was like, this is gonna be really funny. I have a chance to be really funny. I'm gonna take it.
No, absolutely. By all means, absolutely. Like,
I swear to God,
have a
sometimes
good
I miss
time.
the standing as a stand-up comedian.
well, okay,
And then
but wouldn't you need a hand to do that?
well, no, because the audience would give me a hand.
You may not
But
want that hand. I'm going to make bad puppet jokes all night. I want you to know that right
absolutely. I expect
now.
nothing less. I expect nothing less.
I'm going to help chat get really handsy around here. I just. All right, I'll stop.
You're good. I was like trying to come up with something funny, and I was like, the pause was too long. Let it die. It's fine.
It went too long. It's all right.
Mom, pick me up. I couldn't figure out a bit fast enough.
You feel like the reject from Avenue Q. That's like they had a lineup of puppets and they're like, here's this one. No, that one's far too chaotic. I'm sorry.
I actually love that description because genuinely, I really love Avenue Q. I was a big musical theater kid.
Such a good show too.
Good.
Oh, it is.
It's so good. But it's so funny story. I got the album to that when I was in high school.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to an all-girls private Catholic high school, so you can only imagine when you get a CD for a musical and one of the songs is titled "The Internet is for Porn."
Oh God.
Luckily, my family's got a pretty dark sense of humor and didn't care. And like, my mom is the one who gave it to me and knew that like I wasn't the most Catholic kid, but it was definitely a moment of like consideration to be like, as I'm listening to out loud, I'm like, "Hey, Mom, we know that I'm under the age of 18, right?" She's like, "I'm aware. I also know you're not stupid." I'm like, "Okay, cool, got it."
Thanks, Mom.
Thanks for the faith in me, Mother. I am, in fact, stupid, but you'll find that out later.
Just don't read ahead in the novel to be all right.
Exactly. Exactly. The report card is chapter like 10. Just wait till we get there.
Oh, was it chapter? I thought it was chapter 3. Oh, see, I didn't read far enough ahead.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the problem. There's a lot that goes on in the first 10 chapters.
So, your first question of the evening, while we let people get their questions loaded in there and revved up, if you're ready for this one.
Absolutely.
What was the thing how did you come about to deciding to have a hand stuffed up your nether regions and then showing up on stream and being a streamer? Like, what was the impetus that caused you to start to take up streaming?
So, okay, we kind of talked about this. I do love the way you were like, what made you decide to get fisted daily for the internet? So, okay, so a little bit of background about me outside of stream. Hey, yo, welcome in. First question out the gate. Hey, why do you like getting fisted on the internet and not for OnlyFans?
This is going to be a night.
Hey,
buckle up.
You asked me to be here. You asked me to be here. You did. I could have given you like 6 names. You would have been like, "Don't do this. Don't do this."
I'm signed up for this. Let's go.
A little context for me outside of stream is I work in the video game industry. Not necessarily where I want to be working, and I can't really talk too much about what I actually do for a living right now. But what I went to school for, and it's, if you really want to get the long story, we can do the long story of this, but what I went to school for the third time around is narrative writing, so script writing, specifically for games. which is an incredibly difficult industry to.
You read Smith's
Yeah, so I
comment.
got
I can tell.
yeah. It took me a second. I got there. I was focused on telling story, and then yeah, I got into script writing, hoping to get into games, and I graduated December of 2020, which is a great time to be in school.
Right.
Um, yeah, and so I spent 2 years job hunting, and like I did a couple of freelancing gigs, but when you
Hmm.
are at the beginning of your career in something that is incredibly subjective and very hard to get into, it is hard to kind of break into the industry. And
Yes.
at this time as well, because I wanted to get into games, uh, this is going to seem like an unrelated caveat, but it is important. I have really bad motion sickness with games. And as I was coming up in my teens, a lot of the games were first person shooter games
Right.
or third person adventures where you're very close to the main character. Games that I could not play.
Right.
And
Yeah.
so I as I'm hitting my 2 year mark of like unable to get a job, I'm like, okay, I need to find something to be productive with my day that isn't just job hunting, because job hunting in and of itself is a job. People don't acknowledge
It
that
really
often
is.
enough. It
That's a
really is.
full-time job.
It's a full-time job. So I just kind of I had a MacBook, I had my Switch, I had a monitor and a capture card. I was like, I'm just gonna try streaming. We're gonna try it. We're gonna have a little like we're gonna be a little bit silly about it. I didn't have the Muppet at the time. Um but I was like, okay, this will keep me in touch with the industry I want to work with. And
Hmm.
maybe, I can play games and get to know the industry a little better and experience those stories and consume this media that I love and want to work with. And, we'll maybe figure it out as we go along. Thank you,
Right.
Bates. Also, hi, Bates. I did see you say hi. We'll catch up. Eventually, we'll catch up with chat. Ironically, around the same time as I start streaming, I do get a job. Um, which, yay, job.
Yes.
Um, but
Right.
because I work in
That's
the
the goal.
industry, because I work in the industry,
Hmm.
I'm not supposed to be streaming because this is a conflict of interest.
Oh God.
So what I
Whoopsies.
did, and I didn't want to show my face anyways. For me, especially as an ace person and a person in a female body,
Hmm.
I realized that there is an inherent a lot of sexualization of female streamers, whether or not they sign up for it.
Yes.
And so when my very lovely friend who made me this image messaged me, was like, "Hey, you know, I would be more than happy to draw you a PNG tuber. What do you want it to be?" And then that came the question of like, what could I make that I'm going to be comfortable with, that isn't going to be super sexualized, that isn't going to be um what's the word? That is easy to talk to and is going to still kind of take my personality and run with it, that I can find a way to emote through, that
Right.
isn't going to be kind of a disjoint to audiences.
Right.
Which is kind of where the Muppet came, because I also like I grew up with Sesame Street, like they literally taught me English. It was close enough that like you have seen the flesh behind it. It is decently on brand for what I look like as a human.
It's not far off. You're not
It's not far
inaccurate
off,
about
and
that.
that was also important. I was like, if it's going to represent me, I don't want it. So personal little thing is I don't love when people are VTubers, like half and half VTubers, flesh tubers, and then the VTuber and the flesh tuber are two wildly different things.
Right.
It's just a personal preference. I'm like, if you're gonna present yourself on the internet, there's a consistency and there's an expectation, at least for me personally. So I was like, okay, we can do this thing. It's still gonna look like me. It's still gonna evoke me. It's gonna be something familiar that people can latch onto right away, which is important if you're trying to build a brand. And then it kind of like worked way better than I thought it would, honestly.
Nice.
It did help that my friend knows the kind of chaos that I am because we play D&D together.
Well, okay.
They have seen me in D&D. They know how I am a chaos gremlin.
I was going to say, let's be fair. Chaos is kind of like on brand for a lot of streamers, right?
Yeah,
tell me Nori has a TV head.
Defcon, you are in fact a flesh tuber. Congratulations on this realization. Congratulations on becoming flesh tuber.
But no, that's so the we've gone all the way around. I'm going to circle this back around just so that we can make certain we're covering this, right? But so basically, you got into streaming because you didn't have anything to do and you needed something productive to do during the day, and B, it later became this really animated. I'm struggling right now to not say certain things, and we'll
go say what your heart desires, Nori.
No. See, there's a point where you have to let the joke breathe a little bit before you pull it back out and strangle the crap out of it again. Like you got
where you shove your hand up it.
Yeah,
work it to death.
That's right. So you just got to let it breathe for a second. Picturing a meat potato now.
I do actually have a potato PNG tuber friend, so you aren't entirely off.
Why I'm not surprised. I really am not surprised.
He's a great friend. He's out in Germany.
Honestly, I enjoy watching you and Sniff up there doing Nancy Drew series. Like every time you talk, like I keep waiting for the rest of your animation to kick up there because you guys use the reactives. And so I keep waiting for that hand to set out and just start slapping Sniff upside his head every time you go to talk. I'm like, just whack him.
There are times I wish. There are times I wish he would just move me a little closer so I could smack him.
Let him read.
I think he knows that too. Sniff, you do know that, right? Like every now and again, and I'm sure you can hear it. I want to smack you sometimes. And it's usually when he picks hard mode on Nancy Drew games. It's usually when he decides to play them like Souls games for no reason.
Oh, I'm certain there's a reason. There's always a reason.
Oh, I know, Bizzle. Perfect. Thanks, Bizzle.
There's a deep audible sigh.
or just begging. Or just... like so much begging.
To be honest with you, I've heard the deep audible sigh. We have played golf. She joined us for a game of golf. I don't think she's ever going to do it again. I'm sorry.
I'll come back. I'll come back.
I keep saying she, and I do apologize. I don't.
No, I am she. I'm she her.
Oh, okay. I
am she her. I just say person in a female body because I try to use inclusive language whenever possible. While I personally use she, her pronouns, I know there are other people in female bodies that don't necessarily present that way, but do have that lived experience.
Right. Well, I try to make certain. I just try to make certain I keep everybody's pronouns in my head. I don't
Absolutely
always get it
right. No, I am she, her. You're good. I do present exactly what I am. Even though it is just felt.
Well, I've yet to felt.
Oh, fox and geese. No, Sniff. Oh, no, Sniff. Don't make me relive that PTSD. Oh, this was a Nancy Drew mini game where you have to move the geese around to not get caught by the fox.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I've ever struggled so much in a stream before. Genuinely, I don't think I've ever... We were laughing so hard that I think we both... No, it's bad. Oh, it was so bad. This game was so bad. I don't know. I think we were both crying from laughter from sheer exhaustion of our brains trying to figure out how to beat the bot on this.
It went so long.
It did. What? I think we did at least... I want to say like an hour of Fox and Geese alone.
Oof. Okay. Yeah, that probably feels like an eternity at that point.
It does, because it's a stupid game. It's a stupid bad game, Nancy Drew designers, and I'm mad. I'm still mad. We're gonna be 20 Nancy Drews in, and I'm still gonna complain about Fox and Geese.
Wow, really?
I'm determined at this point. An hour seems like an understatement. Okay, thanks. Great. Okay, good. I'm so glad that felt infinitely longer to everyone else as well.
Amazing. Amazing. Sorry. I'm
No, you're good.
Yeah.
Amazing.
You're going to be, you're either going to end up picking up, it's fine, before the end of the night's out, because I will say that probably about a couple hundred times, or you will pick up amazing, because I will say that just as much.
Pick up phrases so fast that I constantly put into my lexicon. And then when I sometimes forget where I get them from too. So fair warning, you're going to hear some weird words from me throughout the night. I'll be like, it's Spenny. And then that's like from an ex-boyfriend I haven't talked to in 3 years.
Okay. It'll be all right. You will say something like that, and I'm like, ooh, what's that word? Tell us all about
it. Exactly.
Heads up. I will absolutely ask for dictionary definition, and then I will figure out how to work it into my regular course of speech, because, you know, it's always
Benny,
fun.
by the way, just means expensive.
Is that like a nice way of saying spendy?
No, it was just like a shorter version of saying expensive.
That makes sense.
It's too spenny for us. That's a little bit spenny.
So we learned about, we actually got double actually in there, because we learned about where your fuzzball came from. So that worked out well. Ha 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 ha.
It's a 2-for-1.
So we got a 2-for.
It's a problem. I will run my mouth.
That's fine. You're allowed to run your mouth. You run your mouth as much as you want. Take the story wherever you want to go. If we dive too far down the hole, I promise I've got safety harness. I will pull this out.
Okay, good. I tend to just free dive into some fucky shit, and then next thing I know, I have too many clips of me saying really cursed things on the internet.
Really cursed things on the internet. Okay, but let's face facts. If Twitch is not just the repository of people saying really cursed stuff, then, you know, what are we doing around
No, I
here?
thought that was Twitter.
No. Definitely Twitch.
Oh, okay, fair. Okay. Fair enough.
It happens on Twitch first, and then gets moved over to Twitter for long-term
Question
storage.
then. Question.
Mm-hmm.
What's more cursed? Twitch or Kick? Because isn't that where streamers go to just be even more unhinged? To break TOS?
Well, Twitch, Kick doesn't really have TOS.
Exactly.
Here's the thing. I would say that Twitch is far more cursed than Kick, because on Twitch you have to mind the rules. And so everybody is constantly rubbing right up against that electric fence without stepping over it, which makes for some really interesting things. Because when you're trying to describe, you know, in your particular case, getting fisted every night when you're live on stream, on Kick, that's got a more adult connotation, and people are like, yeah, whatever, who cares? We can see that. Right, but here on Twitch,
wait, we're not saying this is adult connotation when we say I get fisted every night for stream.
You know, that's entirely up to you how you want to work that. A little to the left. Don't forget. You know that here's the KY. So Allie, where does the name Allie Cutie Pie come from? Like, where did you come up with that?
I didn't come up with this. This is actually an old nickname. So there's an app that is it's a long story for a not very. It's a long story to tell a much shorter story. I'm going to use too many words is what's going to happen. So there is an app.
Is there such a thing?
And this app is called Line. And for those of you who don't know, Line is like a communication kind of. I'm sorry, did you hear about me getting fisted every night? Is that what you came into stream on? Welcome in. That bit's never gonna die. I hope everyone comes
not
in
one bit.
to be talking about fisting. Apparently,
It's just going to be. It's fine. It's fine.
but yeah. So there's this app called Line, and it's a communication app that is mostly used in East Asia. And like a lot of these apps, they also have little games that come with them. I was playing this game, and there was a Canadian server. And in the Canadian server, I met some people that were based in the same city as I am. And so we got into a group chat. And one of these people is a dear friend of mine from Singapore, who my name is not actually Ali. It is not an adjacent of Ali. It is, when you read it, not the most common name right out the gate. At least not in English, because my name is not an English name. And as a result, she had a problem pronouncing it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was also the youngest of the group at the time. So she was just like, I'm going to call you Ali Cutie Pie. And this worked because also at the time I was studying Mandarin, so then I would just call her Big Sister in Mandarin.
Right.
So I was her Ali Cutie Pie and she was my Jejia. And that way, you know, we had these little names for each other. Because I also, like, she taught me how to pronounce her name. Tones are really hard. Mandarin tones are really freaking hard.
Yes, they are.
I learned it for many years, and it's still sometimes like, instead of, so caveat story, I lived in Taiwan for a bit, and when I was living in Taiwan, my teacher had taught us the phrase for how to ask a question, which is like Qing Wen. The problem is if you change the tone on one, you can say, instead of please can I ask a question, it's please can I kiss you? Which really bad to consistently ask a teacher if you can kiss them when you're just trying to figure out grammar.
Yeah, I don't know how well that works out if you're trying to have a makeout session in the middle of your tutor session. I just
no. This is like this is a public class. I don't want to make out with my teacher in front of people. I don't kiss and tell. Ew, that's a private thing.
Dude.
But yes, two different things, almost sound the same. Tone is everything. Exactly.
Tone is everything.
So we just gave each other nicknames, and so I would just call her. And it was funny because we were all like from different countries, or we have different cultural backgrounds. So like, because I was the baby of the group, it was very often that I was just calling everyone Big Sister in a different language.
Aha.
But for her, I was always Ali Cutie Pie, and the pie was the number pi, which I should have asked her why she did that, because I fucking hate math. But it stuck, and it was cute, so I kept it. And it was funny because, like, actually recently I checked in with her because she just had a baby, and she was asking me for, like, well, a lot of my friends do this when they are in East Asia. They ask me for help with the name to make sure the name can port over to English easily.
Right.
So they'll have like a list of names. They'll be like, which one of these is the easiest to do in English? Like, which one are you not going to fuck up if I just bring this one over? And I'm like, okay, cool. This one. And so I was like, you know, we were talking, we were catching up. I was like, it's actually funny. I started streaming. You'll never guess what my username is. She's like, what? Like, it's Ali Cutie Pie. She's like, oh my God, I'm so happy. She actually did come to visit me in streams. To be like, and she came in, she was like, there's my Ali Cutie Pie. It was very nice to see her. But yeah, she is the reason why I go by Ali Cutie Pie, and she's still a dear friend.
That is fantastic. See, not all stories have to be, you know, perverse and psychotic, and
have some good in me.
You just have to root around in there. Hang on a second.
It's just, yeah, you gotta dig with your fingers.
My fingers or your fingers? You got to make room. There's already one hand in here already.
That's true. I'll do the digging for us.
Oh, that's fantastic. So you just kind of kept it. I remember listening to Zoda as he put two and two together about your name, and it like dawned on him, and I was like, oh my God, that was so good.
It's
I'm like,
genuinely one of my favorite things when people put two and two together on this one.
well, okay. So like I feel you on this because I go through the same thing all the time with my name. The amount of time everybody's like, it's Norithum. I'm like, really? That's where you decide you wanna split it at, is between the Y and the TH. Okay. If you split it at the O, it actually says something more meaningful.
Yeah, no rhythm. Because I ain't got rhythm. No, I ain't got rhythm. Nert.
Yes, I have gotten a new name now. I am now Nert
I
or
like
Nari.
Nert. I like Nert. Tiny Nert. Oh, that's good. Oh, that's good. Look, I think a rebranding could be in the cards for you.
I got Nert because on my Minecraft server, I run around as a sentient ice cube, and I am literally a half a block tall. I am shorter than a slab.
Okay. This feels like short people cultural appropriation. I'm just saying. As a short person, this feels rude.
What do you mean rude? That's the race. He's called an iceling.
See, I don't play Minecraft because it gives me motion sick, so I literally know nothing about Minecraft.
Oh. Thank you for the follow, Son of Ultron. Welcome to the network.
Okay, a short person gave the name. I'll do. Well, it wasn't even the name. The name is not what bothered me. It was that he chose to be a half foot, like a half of a slab of ice. You could have you want to steal our people's culture of being short.
No,
and use that on the internet.
It was the race. There was like some 50 different race. Being a sentient ice cube, one has to worry about constantly being dunked into cups of iced tea.
Okay, actually, I got a question for you, Nori. You're based in the U.S., right?
Yep.
What's the fucking deal with sweet tea? What is that?
That is diabetes in a glass.
No, but actually though, and like, it's because I went to Wendy's and I got a medium sweet tea because I was like, okay,
I'm sorry.
Sweet, yeah, thank you in advance for apologizing. Why the fuck did I get a drink the size of my face? That's a medium? What's a large? My torso?
Let's
Deedus,
see.
you can have your sugar water. You can have my sugar water.
How sweet is the sweet tea in the U.S.? Green Emerald, Greenie. Sweet tea in the U.S., they make a gallon of tea. And per gallon of tea, there is at least 1 to 2 cups of sugar.
Green Emerald, do you know what a gallon is? Or are you a metric like me and that means nothing to you?
4 liters? Yeah, it's like 4 liters for every 4 liters.
Oh my god! That's too much sugar! That's too much sugar for 4 liters!
That's the way they drink it.
What did I put in my body?
It is diabetes in a glass. Sweet tea is a southern drink. It's typically made with Lipton tea. Though they have a thing they call sun tea around here, where they take Lipton tea, they put it in the water, and then they sit the water out in the sun to let the tea heat in the sun, and they make the tea that way. Then they add ice, and you add your sugar to it, stir it up, drink, and enjoy. I don't like tea, so asking me about tea is ridiculous because I don't drink tea, period, like at all. I get violently ill when it comes down to tea.
Are you a coffee person?
Yes.
See, that's funny. I'm that way with coffee. I get ill on coffee.
That's fair.
So I normally drink tea, but I drink non-caffeinated tea at that because I can't have black tea.
Well, there you go. Yeah, I get like projectile vomitus violently
Ooh.
when it comes to tea. Like, so
Oh,
I
Nori,
don't,
do you want
I
to hear a
don't touch
good projectile vomiting story?
that. Okay.
Is it bad that I have one on lock?
I have about 14 on lock. I was a paramedic
Oh, I
for
have
10
so many.
years.
Oh, no. I'm not talking about someone else. I'm talking about me.
Oh,
Me projectile vomiting.
I could tell you a funny story about projectile vomiting. It was sorry, just thinking about it to this day makes me laugh. But go ahead. Let's hear yours.
So I technically at one point in my life sang opera. And what was coming with singing opera, you also sing a lot of choir. What would be a very impressive place in the US to do any kind of music?
Depends on the type of music you want to do.
We're saying choral performance. We'll narrow the odds. We'll narrow it to a state, New York.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, if you're talking about like Broadway stuff, yeah, New York is where you'd want to
Oh
do
no, I'm
that.
talking Carnegie Hall. I'm talking front row Carnegie Hall in front of a 500 person choir at the age of 15.
Wow.
I'm singing an Alleluia because that's what we learned for the piece. And as I'm hitting the last of an Alleluia, my dinner, which was spaghetti and pepperoni pizza,
God.
comes flying out and into my choir folio and all over my dress. And
Not
now,
ideal.
not ideal. No one else got hit. No one else. I contain. How dare you assume I did not contain this? I am the cleanest fucking puker. This shit only landed on me. No one else. I caught all of the puke as I ran off stage. But to make things worse, my mother had flown across the entire continent to come see me perform.
Oh no.
And got to be in the audience. Oh,
No.
trust me, it was projectile, but I aimed down. It was projectile, but I aimed down because I know myself and I know what I've done 6-foot projectile vomiting before. I have done like post-surgery projectile vomiting all over my nurse in the floor. I am professional vomiter at this point. I feel bad. But this one, head down right into my book. It was, it was a bad day. I run to the bathroom, sobbing my little eyes out. It was so many people to witness that because it was also a full house. My mom runs to the bathroom. She's like, "Sweetheart, Allie, are you okay?" And I'm just in there like, "No, my life is ruined." Because you're 15 and you think your life is over when anything bad happens to you.
Oh yeah.
And you know that everyone saw it because another choral director from one of the junior division came in and was like, "Hey, sweetheart, we have a spare dress in your size." It was not my size. Do you wanna change? Yeah. I woke up the next morning with like a fever of over 100 degrees.
Oof.
And had
That's
to
rough.
lie because I had to take a red eye that night to come back. Had to lie to the people at the airplane check-in so that I could fly on the plane, even though I was technically a biohazard at the time. My mom was there flying on the same flight. She's like, my daughter's just really tired. It's really late. Can you just let us through? And they're like, yeah, "Oh, we're so sorry, sweetheart." Like, yeah, go on through. Let's just say, flying biohazard. Sorry, TSA. Please let me back into your country.
Wow. So we I don't know how many people have actually been in the back end of the ambulance, right? But when we say space is limited in the back end of the ambulance, I mean space is very limited in the back end of the ambulance. By the time you put a stretcher in with a body on top of it, there's enough room for 2 people to walk around on either side, and that's about it.
Yeah.
So we don't take passengers along with us to the hospital or anything else other than, the patient. Mind you, here I am in the back of an ambulance. It's me and my father. Brand new to this. Just turned 18. Just got my shock trauma tech license, everything else. I'm ready to go. Riding in the back of the ambulance, we go pick up this guy who took something he shouldn't have. So on the way back, our OMD says, okay, well, go ahead and administer syrup of Ipecac.
Okay.
You don't know what syrup of Ipecac is. It is a very sweet tasting liquid. And getting somebody to take it is easy. They're like, oh, this is sweet. This is easy. They'll suck it down. Hand them a glass of water and get them to drink the water.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes.
Oh, no.
So,
did you paint the inside of that? Did they paint the inside of that ambulance?
Oh, everything that was in their stomach came out of their stomach. Now, I had managed to sequester myself to the head. So I'm behind the patient.
Smart.
My father, on the other hand, is the one stuck holding the bucket as it is going into the bucket, splashing out of the bucket, all down the front end of him and all over the back end of the ambulance. So we get all the way to the hospital. This patient never stopped.
Oh,
so,
no.
Have you ever seen Life of Brian?
Yeah.
The scene in Life of Brian where the really big guy comes into the restaurant and just starts puking in the bucket nonstop.
Oh no!
That was the back end of our ambulance the entire way there. He just power puked through the bucket. Into my father's face, down the front end of him. I think it even got inside of his jumper at one point. He was saturated. The smell was terrible. I had ammonia salts cracked and stuck up my nose trying to breathe. It was bad.
Yeah, valid. Honestly, that's the most valid response.
We get to the hospital. We get him out. He's still like all the way into the hospital. He's still just everywhere. And my father has to walk him in there holding this bucket, constantly just getting showered the whole way in. They marched him into the hospital, into a containment area. And then he had to strip down and go through decom in order to be released. Meanwhile, we spent the next 3 hours cleaning out the back of the ambulance. My father come out wearing a pink tutu because that's the only thing they had in Lost and Found.
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. I love that. Oh my god, I feel so bad. So I've had a couple of surgeries, and on my last one, which was a chest surgery and a back surgery at the same time, and you're gonna understand, that's a fucking nightmare of a recovery. Especially because it's day leave kind of surgery. Like I'm in and out the same day, but I'm also allergic to narcotics.
Oh joy.
Yeah, and they're not giving you anything but narcotics when you wake up from surgery. So I'm sitting there, well, not really sitting there because I'm on my hip and my back, like I'm on my hip and then I'm twisted so that my chest is upward and my hips are off the air because it was my lower back, like my tailbone area, which is not a comfortable position. But they're like, here, we're gonna teach you how to move. Like you need to press down. We know it's gonna hurt your chest a lot because it was like major chest surgery where you can't put like the type where you can't hold a glass after having surgery.
Right.
You're going to have to use your arms to lift your body up so you can move your hips so that you don't put too much weight onto one hip and damage it. I was like, cool. I do it once. They're like, oh my God, you did great. I'm like, hey, I don't feel very good. And they're like, hey, sweetheart, you do what you need to do. I turn over, like not even turn over. I turn my head over to my shoulder and just all over the floor, all over myself, the bed, the floor. The nurse just looks at me. She's like, yeah, I should have expected that. Takes the blanket off my body, throws it onto the floor and starts cleaning that up. I'm like, like, I'm not loopy because I'm surprisingly coherent. I just feel so sick. I'm like apologizing out the wazoo, being like, I'm so sorry. But she was so nice about it, and I felt so genuinely bad. But like, I truly mean, like, I hit the next bed over.
Nice.
It's like, next time I'm gonna aim you. Like, she's like, next time you're gonna do that, can you warn me so I can aim you so you don't hit anything else? I'm like, yeah, sure.
We're gonna do targeting with you. Hold still.
Yeah, it's like a video game. If we just angle you right and then like tilt the position of your head, can we get it right in the bucket?
That's it. You'd be surprised how often we actually we've done things like that. Like, I'm right, sure. Just 45 degrees, a 15-degree tilt, and perfect. Look at that. All right, I get bonus points this time.
Yeah. If I keep things clean, man. So
Rachie, hey,
one more. Rachie, welcome in. One more puking story because these are fun. The last time I puked. They're fun. It's fine. The last time I puked was at a wedding from drinking.
The things I hear on Talk Tuesday, like, puking stories, these are just fun. Like, of where's my bingo card? I'm like, I didn't have that on my Talk Tuesday bingo card for this week. I feel left out on that one.
I'm so sorry. You pointed at something that you don't mind eating a bullet. Exactly. But yeah, so I'm at this wedding.
Exclamation puzzle in chat. We'll get you a link to the puzzle if you want to get in there and do the puzzle there, Rachie. Sorry.
No, you're good. So yeah, I'm at this wedding. I was supposed to be the maid of honor.
Mm-hmm.
I was demoted from maid of honor the day of the wedding. What did I do to be demoted, you ask? I didn't show up to the dress rehearsal that I had been given explicit permission from the bride not to go to. Did the bride tell me herself? No, the girl who took my place, who has the exact same name as me, pronounced the same weird way that I pronounce my name. Hold on, I'm gonna do this for Rachie because I am in chat secretly. So the girl who replaces me with the exact same name as me,
right,
is telling me in the car on the way to getting ready, and I have to talk to the bride lady and be like, "Hey, what the fuck is that about?" She's like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I meant to tell you." So that night, we're only supposed to have 2 drink tickets. But everyone who was at the bachelorette that I paid for out of my pocket knew that I was supposed to be maid of honor, and all know very suddenly that I am not the maid of honor anymore. So I am getting fed drinks to my heart's content. And I was like, at the beginning it was tequila, and then it was a whiskey sour, and then it's wine. And I bring a friend, I'm like, "Hey, girl, I think I'm going to be sick." She's like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "I think I'm going to puke." And I've done my fair share of puking. I used to live in Japan and drink in Japan with Japanese businessmen. I know my puking. I know when I'm going to be sick. I know when I'm going to be sick. So I grab my friend, I go to the bathroom. The bride is sitting on the floor in the bathroom with all the girls from the bridesmaids thing, like the bachelorette, like fawning over her. I'm like, "Never mind, not doing that here." I go to the green room. I did not puke on the other girl because I'm a nice person. And I was like, "Hey, hold my hair for 2 seconds." And without missing a drop, my dress was clean as sin as I got everything into the trash can. My friend's like, "I have never seen anyone puke so daintily in my life." I was like, that is the highest praise I will ever be given. You can tell me I'm the most beautiful soul in the world. Nothing will be as good as the fact that I puke daintily. Look, I'm still friends with the bride. I'm not gonna lose an 8-year friendship over signing some papers and standing next to her at her wedding, right?
Yeah.
It's not
Rachie,
worth
you're
it.
absolutely welcome to steal this. There's a number of people that I know that use this puzzle for streams and whatnot. It's a fun little way. We use it as a way to bring interaction for people who are sitting around learning about our lovely guest, which tonight's lovely guest is the Allie Cutie Pie, who will sit here and be really upset as I rave heaps and heaps of nice compliments upon them and make them horrendously sick to their stomach. But we're going to do it anyways.
Oh look, I might puke again.
That's what we do here on Talk Tuesday. By the way, so it's fine. But puke daintily. That is the first time I've ever heard that one.
Right? It's a high compliment.
I mean that is saying an awful lot.
Like, what else could you ask for? If you're gonna hurl it out your, it's hard to do, right? You know, you just gotta aim. You gotta know exactly the kind of trajectory it's coming up at. You gotta have an idea of, you know, what you're wearing and make sure nothing gets on it.
Right. That's just it's all
being
control.
in tune with the body.
in your case, in tune with the hand.
Well, no, you know what? I own that the rest of the flesh pit that is attached to the hand is also me. I as much as I am the Muppet, I also me as much as I joke that like this is my face. It is kind of my face. I do own the fact that like I am still very much fleshy pit body outside.
Right.
Good understanding of puking physics. Thank you. This is what video games are for.
Solid.
You learn your trajectories.
So your first question of the night, DEFCON 01 would like to know, what is your favorite genre of fantasy? And it's a follow-up.
I'm so glad.
What's your favorite fantasy universe?
I'm so glad I Googled this shit before. I saw this at the start of the stream and I was like, good. Because this is hard. Well, no, because I was like looking at the...
Are you cheating your answers?
No, because I want to make sure I'm taking into account everything. And like, admittedly, as much as I am a big D&D girly, I'm more of a sci-fi girly than a fantasy girly. And I would care to argue that science fiction is fantasy. I know that's not the answer that you're looking for. I'm gonna try and weasel my way in.
So there is a long-standing where it's listed as sci-fi and sci-fi, which is science fantasy. So science, your science fiction is absolutely fantasy. It's perfectly fine. You don't have to weasel your way through that.
Okay, good. I'm glad we all. Well, some people don't agree. Some people are like, while there is fantastical elements to it, there is very much
no. I'm sorry.
See, there's already someone in chat making a distinction, and that's fair. You're allowed to differentiate your own way.
I would argue that science fiction is still science fantasy, because while it is still fiction and a work of fiction, Star Trek is an absolute work of fiction. The science that is in it is not based on any kind of reality. It is a fantasy science. So therefore, it is still science fantasy.
I wish I could remember. So one of my teachers in film school did an incredible job of explaining why these two were the same and why they are literally two sides of the same coin.
They are. That's fine. Anyways, on
and
to your
for
answer.
me, I grew up with Star Wars. I have big feelings about Star Wars now, but I grew up with Star Wars. Star Wars was something I loved.
Right.
I even like the prequels. If you think of the prequels as an Alan Sorkin political drama, they're decent. The midichlorian thing, scrap it.
I'll give you that.
Right, because you can't consider them the same as the original trilogy. The original trilogy is very much like action adventure. They try to do that with the prequels. I find that the prequels are better if they were a little bit more Alan Sorkin-y political dramas than they are big action adventure pieces. The new trilogy, I would like to not talk about or acknowledge or pretend that those exist. I got so many issues with that. I got so many issues with the last trilogy.
I am glad you are enjoying this, Rachie. They've got a whole bunch of different puzzles, and you can you can pick however many pieces you want in the puzzle. So if we finish this one up, I'll just go find another one.
Hell yeah. Other like, and I tend to think of things in like cinematic worlds. Like for me, Studio Ghibli is all kind of like one universe.
It is.
And that
First off, I
is a
love
kind
Studio
of
Ghibli.
I love Studio Ghibli. I actually have a like a Spirited Away tattoo
Hmm.
of the little radish spirit.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, Spirited Away was one of the first like anime movies I saw in theaters, and I just remember being completely spellbound and kind of coming out being like, this is the best thing that's ever like I've ever seen, you know? Like
Right.
I just completely enamored with it. My family does not understand. They still don't understand Spirited Away, which is really funny to me because I'm like, this is a thing I love so much, and you know, it's
How
for
is
different strokes.
like Spirited Away is not that difficult to understand. I'm
Uh,
perplexed now.
they're I love them. They're not the type of people that are like the most open-minded to that kind of stuff.
Mm.
And then it's very much like, well, how does she know that the pigs weren't her parents, you know? And there's a lot of cultural nuance in that movie that is actually kind of stripped away in the English version
It is.
or is never really explained. Like especially the mythology behind names and their importance.
Yes.
And if you're
it-
not well versed or care, then it's harder to get into.
right. Well, and so I learned Japanese and immersed myself deeply into the culture because that's the easiest way to learn a language is to really just immerse yourself in it.
Wait, Nori, we have the power to do an incredible bit here.
No, we're not doing that.
Oh, come on.
I already know we're not doing that.
God damn it. God damn. Nori also clocked me so fast for being like, we could do this whole interview in Japanese. Are you kidding me? Wait, what do you mean I didn't have to do this in English this whole time?
We could, but there's no subtitle. You can't do that.
No, it's fair. It would just have been really funny if we both switched it to Japanese for like 2 seconds to like bullshit part of a conversation. They would have been none the wiser.
I knew exactly where you were going the minute you're like, oh, we could do. I'm like, we're not doing a Japanese bit. That's no. I caught you. Haha.
Like, I'll be a little shithead in my own time. It's fine.
It's fine. It's fine. But it's one of those when you immerse yourself into the culture, though, and to help learn language and whatnot, you do learn these things. And so rewatching Spirited Away with all of this, the cultural references behind it and everything, it really does change.
It really does.
Change the movie. And I tell everybody, they're like, well, what do you watch, dubbed or subbed? I'm like, give me subbed because I can turn off the subtitles because I will listen to an anime and watch it that way all day long. And having
Like,
the cultural background to understand what it is that you're watching completely changes the entire vibe of what you're watching. Like One Piece is an entirely different animal if you watch it back in the original format.
I don't know about that. That's too many fucking episodes, man. I don't know who fucking gets started on One Piece right now. Jesus Christ.
I'm just saying, but I mean, you could go back and rewatch any of them. Like any
Yeah,
of the really
and I was
popular
actually gonna
ones,
mention
like
it, 'cause
all
there's
the
There's a really good example in Ghibli right now. Did you happen to watch The Boy and the Heron?
yes.
Did you notice? Did you watch both versions or just the subbed?
I watched just the subbed.
So, hey, spoilers for Boy and the Heron really quick as we discuss this.
Fine.
When they call her auntie,
Mhm.
how did you take that? Like what context did you consider the word when he calls her aunt?
I don't remember that I really considered it much of anything other than just an identifier for her at the time.
See, because here's the thing: in older Japanese families, it is very common for like if one sister dies, they marry the second sister in, so that they keep the husband in the family. If the husband is marrying into a family,
I did not learn
In
that
that-
particular. That's interesting.
in that kind of
piece
like time period, it's not super common, but like it was a
Right.
way to keep the hierarchy going. So
Yeah.
there is there is a, and there's a fondness that the mother character has for the boy's dead mother. You know,
Right.
that's kind of like alluded to. Yeah, exactly. Sister wives, but only after the husband is widowed, which is, there's a lot of cultures that do that. And I'm not saying that's exactly what happened, but that is a way of interpreting it. And while I have to read the book because I kind of want to read it, it is an interpretation.
It is an interpretation.
It is an interpretation because in the subs, they call her auntie. Like, he calls her aunt at one point.
Mm-hmm.
Which is not a very common way to describe someone in Japanese culture, unless it's like outside of family.
Right.
You would call them like, you know, this san, you know, like,
yeah,
like,
you would use the honorifics and
yeah, you would use the honorifics. So the fact that they chose to make him call her aunt, I was like, oh, hold on, is this like a historical thing now where she was like actually the aunt? And does that add this extra layer of why he can't settle with this woman who's replacing his mom?
Yeah, I don't recall digging that deep into it. I remember hearing it,
But in
and
the
then
English,
just kind of tossed it off.
they don't like. I went once to watch subbed and once to watch dub because I have one friend who doesn't like reading subtitles. In the English, they never acknowledge that.
No. Well,
they never call her aunt at all.
No. I wouldn't imagine they would. It wouldn't translate very well.
Exactly.
It wouldn't make any sense.
Exactly, and that's kind of was like that kind of led me to being like, oh, maybe it really is the aunt. Like, that would be. They kind of gloss over that, which is something they would do because that's not culturally relevant out here, and would kind of turn people off of that plot line.
It's one of those interesting. When we start talking about cultures all around the world, like, everything's a little different culturally wise, and without full understanding of what that of what you're dealing with that culture, things can get misconstrued an awful lot.
Absolutely.
Even here in the Americas, we have our own culture. You know,
yes.
It's a mishmash, and as you travel to different portions of the country, you'll find that it culturally wise, even we have this thing where we're like, okay, I went through, you know, culture shock as I went from, you know, the East Coast to the West Coast. If I went from north to south, as I go
absolutely
to the Midwest or Texas or down to Nolans or yeah.
No, and that's the same with Canada too. Like, Canada is, in the US as well. They're such vast countries with big diverse cultures within them. That, like, between where I live and fucking Quebec, mind you, Quebec's a freak in nature, so we don't talk about that one that much. What's a better example? I rip on Quebec real fast. I'm allowed to rip on Quebec because I was born there. No one else can give me shit about that.
All I'm going to point out is we have drifted way off the topic of the question, so I have to reel you back in. So
reel me back in. Well, I was going to say, it all started because I do love the fantasy of the Ghibli worlds, even though they tend to be a little bit more like modern or urban fantasy. And it's funny because urban fantasy is give or take.
Right. I wouldn't say all of the Ghibli worlds are urban fantasy.
But Spirited Away is like Howl's Moving Castle is a little bit. Howl's Moving Castle, I would say, is more like an urban than a modern fantasy. Where there's technology.
I would actually call that more of just a pure fantasy world.
Really interesting.
So when you start introducing, okay, where at in modern world do you have a doorway that takes you to multiple different portions of the country? On top of that,
but they have like vehicles, the big airships.
But the airships were powered by magic anyways.
That's true. Even though they all looked like they ran on steam.
They all look, well, they were burning magic is what they were doing.
Yeah.
Right. So it doesn't change. It was a mix of magic and tech, but it's still a fantasy world.
Yeah. No, and
Um,
absolutely. But yeah, I would probably say like, and then other areas of like, and I only bring that. Oh,
what
mystical
what
steampunk
is
would be a
that?
great way to describe
Yeah,
that.
that's a good. I like that. That works. I would
Um. Oh, go on.
agree with that. I was going to say I would agree with that. Mystical steampunk works. Steam Boy. Oh God, that was such a good one. Sorry, now I'm getting distracted.
Steam Boy?
You've never seen Steam Boy? Oh,
No.
you got to go look it up and watch it. It is such a
I
good.
literally googled it right now. That looks so fascinating.
It was such a good movie. It's not a Ghibli movie, but Steam Boy is an
No, but
amazing movie. Go sit
I
down
would
and
say
watch it. The layout for everything and the architect about how they went about it. They did their homework for steampunk. Like that. That's a. I wouldn't call that science fiction. I would actually call that more science fact because a lot of the stuff that they built in there, the mechanics, the machines, that the things that you see in there could have actually been a thing that we could have done with steam if steam became the more common.
this is fascinating.
It's an absolute
I'm like
fascinating
going through
movie.
Google Images right now.
Oh yeah,
I don't worry, folks. I'm not spoiling myself for Steam Boy fans. None of this makes sense to me.
You're fine. You're fine.
But yeah, so back to the question, just because I'm gonna keep myself honest
Mhm.
now. Um, Sci-fi, love. Ghibli, love. I would say there's some kind of like the other big thing. So a lot of these things also influence my writing.
Mhm.
As a writer, you take from what you know.
Yeah,
The other
yeah.
thing that like is my big influence is Sailor Moon,
Okay.
which
You're
is
about there
yeah. I was about
are.
to.
It's a puppet. Yo, Weird Waffle, welcome in. Thank you for the resub, my friend. I laugh only because right now I can put my hand on legitimately 4 people that are huge Sailor Moon fans, so much so that their names are Sailor Moon
Fail
esque.
or something.
No. So we have
Oh.
Little Lunar Rabbit,
Okay, yeah, that checks out.
right?
Yeah, no, I know exactly where the reference is.
There's Ember, who is Moon Princess.
Yep, got it.
Now I'm trying to remember these other 2, and my brain just kind of checked out on me. Son of a.
You're good. I understand the idea. I mean, and I'm sure they understand. You grow up with it. It's something so endearing to you. I also have
Can you be Moon
a Sailor
Waffle?
Moon tattoo.
Sailor Moon
Sailor
tattoo.
Moon tattoo. I recently did a mech build that was like inspired by Sailor Moon, which was gifted to me by a dear friend of mine, DeCapo. I looking up from my desk, I can see 7 Sailor Moon figurines.
Well, a Moon Waffle only counts if it's made with green cheese.
Correct.
Not blue cheese. Blue cheese doesn't count. Blue cheese is disgusting.
Thank you. Blue cheese.
Okay, to be fair, like we can rip on blue cheese. There are people that do enjoy blue cheese.
You're allowed to like blue cheese.
And
You're
there are
allowed to
people
like
that
it.
enjoys natto, and you couldn't pay me enough to eat natto either.
No, I used to trade that shit out with my kids at lunch. Absolutely not. Absolutely. My kid. So when I used to teach in Japan, they'd bring us our like lunches, and I was expected to eat with the kids. And I would be like, "How much do I have to pay my baseball boys to give so that I can give them my natto?" And they'd be like, "If you also give me the milk." And I was like, "Absolutely fair. I'm lactose intolerant. Have it.
Have at it.
Here, it's all yours, boys."
Now, wait, since somebody put it's like stinky cheese. Let me tell you about stinky cheese. we're gonna deviate just slightly, just because I think you'd enjoy the story.
I can't wait.
So there is a streamer friend of mine who has, I think they basically retired from streaming. I think they've taken a step back. His name is Duzakino. You'll often hear me refer to him as Kino.
Okay.
Kino, his whole streaming stick is he is a 3,000-year-old piece of sentient cheese. He has been
Oh my
around
god.
for forever. This is not where Stinky Cheese comes into. 3,003 years now, sir. Thank you for the correction, Squirrel. This is not where Stinky Cheese comes in. Stinky Cheese comes in on the fact that I write commercials. I write commercials because I think they're fun. And I make
fun.
the most absurd commercials you can imagine. We have come up with our own brand. Squirrels are like, oh God, I know where this is going.
I love when you laugh and chat's like, no man, no, don't do this.
We came up with our own brand of hipster cheese. We make our very
Oh no,
own
I'm gonna join
hipster
Squirrel on
brand,
this.
hipster brand Limburger cheese. So what we do?
It would be Limburger of all the cheese types to be the hipster cheese.
So we have our very own custom-made leather flap shoes that Kino wears, and we fill it with milk and then put him on the treadmill every morning so that Kino exercises. And the feet sweat builds up the required bacteria to culture the cheese and turn it into hipster cheese.
Sometimes I wish I wasn't a PNG tuber so you could see the look on my face.
I don't need to see
Honestly, the only
know.
thing worse than feet cheese would have been dick cheese. So like, god damn, you really went for the nastiest stuff out here.
Well, from under cheese would have been far worse. You're exactly right. So we decided we would package the system up and offer it for retail to sell it so that, you could get New York style hipster cheese out there being made by people from New York walking every day to get their cup of coffee in the morning. Go down to Starbucks, make your own fresh cheese while you're doing it.
I have projectile vomited a bit, but we might be back, baby.
I haven't told that. Look, Squirrel. We haven't brought up Kino's hipster cheese in an age. I don't know why you're getting this.
You know what's nice is that the puppet has built-in PTSD vacant stare.
I made a good joke in there too. Age
did.
cheese.
Look, yeah, you did, buddy. You did.
Oh, that was the equivalent of the pity pat on the head. I saw that.
Look, as a teacher, as an ex-teacher, sometimes you gotta just let your kids have their bits.
Welcome to Talk Tuesday, y'all. We went from projectile vomit to fermented cheese. In the space of a very short time.
We kind of speed running the some of the pipelines here.
Nah, not one bit. To be honest with you, on Talk Tuesdays, food is a regular topic. Usually it starts to approach about halfway point when we start talking about food. So we're right on target.
We're right on schedule. Oh my god, yay!
So there you go. And because we're still in the food topic, DEF CON would like to know cake or pie.
Oh, this is a really good question because I wasn't very much a pie person until recently. If I had to choose, probably cake still. Because, hear me out. This is a controversial maybe a controversial take.
Not really, but go ahead.
There are good, a bakery pie is always good. But, there's a look, I know my name has pie in it. I know my name has pie in it. But it's not because of the food. It's because of the numerical concept. That's the word I'm looking for. Um pie pie can be a meal. I understand that. I get it. It's versatile. But like even like the grocery store pie is like good quality. If it's not a big jump between a bakery pie and a grocery store pie, sorry, that's not I like it when, you know, like grocery store cake, mid. You get a good cake from a bakery. Oh, good God. Plus I love cheesecake. Plus I love back on cheese. I love cheesecake.
Just can't get away from the cheese.
No. Cheesecake is so good. They just opened up a cafe near my house that does a Basque cheesecake. I'm gonna be a menace. I'm gonna be a menace. Also, I'm also a sucker for a strawberry shortcake, Japanese style.
Strawberry
Like the
shortcakes
Christmas
are
cake.
good. Yes.
They're so good. It was like my birthday cake for almost a decade.
Yes, those are
Not too sweet.
absolutely fantastic. Yep.
Fresh strawberries, light fluffy whipped cream.
I will be honest, I import my toothpaste from Japan because I really like the fact that it's not like that really heavy minty stuff that you get.
Oh my
here in
God,
the
that was the
US.
best part of Japanese toothpaste.
Right?
It's so minty out here, and I don't like peppermint.
It is. It is. It's like they went and took the mint plant and like choked 1,000 of them into a tube of toothpaste, and you're like, yes, brush
That's
your
a
teeth
much
with
nicer
this.
description than I was gonna say. That's such a nicer description than what I was originally gonna say. I'm so glad you spoke first. I was gonna say it feels like you're eating out mint's ass every time you brush your teeth, and then I'm stuck with that flavor until the next meal.
Yeah, it's terrible. I am not a fan of it. Thank you for the alert, Rachie. Thank you for dropping by. Since we're on the whole topic, I'm going to skip a couple questions here real quick. Sorry,
Absolutely.
folks. Just because we're going to keep this on point. Sir Bearded
Moji.
Waffle would like to know. Hi, Moji.
This is a person I'm scared of. This is a person I'm scared of. This
Sir
person's going
Bearded
to
Waffle
weaponize
would like to
anything I
know.
say. Yes, please.
Okay, now we know which one between cake or pie. Do you prefer waffles or pancakes?
This is a good question. I would personally say, I'm sorry, waffle, but pancakes, because there's more variety to pancakes. Have you ever had one of those souffle pancakes?
I have.
They're delicious. I can't do that with a waffle. I can't do that with a waffle. But then also, in theory,
They do whole syrup better.
Crepes. Crepes can be considered more of a pancake than they could be a waffle.
No, crepes are
I'm not a
crepes.
big
You
syrup person.
you can't mix a crepe and a waffle. I'm sorry.
No, but that's what I'm saying. You can't mix a crepe and a waffle. But they're closer to a pancake than they are waffles. So then I get it. I can slide them in with the.
No, I would definitely say a crepe is its own animal altogether. A pancake. A pancake is thick. It's fluffy.
Sure.
They're made with potatoes or flour or anything.
True, there is that versatility. Oh my God, that just reminded me of my favorite type of pancake. Green onion pancakes. Which is like the dough with like green onion mixed in. So good.
I know which one you're talking about. Yes. However, to say a crepe is a pancake is wrong because a crepe is just basically egg.
I'm not saying a crepe is a pancake. I'm saying that a crepe is closer to a pancake than it is a waffle, and thus, if I were to include it in the conversation, I would slide it in with the pancake more than with the waffle.
I would say a crepe is closer to Japanese rolled Japanese omelets.
Yeah, a crepe.
Yeah, you roll it. You roll the omelets for Japanese omelets as well. They both have that same
guess.
real thin layer. You could lay out, if you took a Japanese omelet and just laid it out, you would have basically a crepe, basically egg.
Yeah, crepes are batter. It's mostly batter.
It's an eggy batter. That's pretty much it. So
Eggs are in a crepe. Hold on. Is my life a lie? Hold the fuck on. Okay. Thank you, Cat Dad. Okonomiyaki is just a pancake. I'm calling that. I'm placing that in the pancake category.
Yes, okonomiyaki. Yes, I would agree with that, pancake. And both can be rolled. Okay. The way we made crepes growing up as kids, our crepes definitely had eggs in them. Sorry, it was
They
more
have
egg
eggs.
than
I
batter.
wouldn't say they were majority egg though.
Ours were more eggs than batter.
Okay, that makes sense then. I'm thinking of like a French crepe, which is it's
okay.
more like a pancake batter done very very watery.
My family is American and Puerto Rican. Like French, nothing.
Look, I'm from
this
Canada.
This is the way Grandma used to make it, so this is the way we make it. and yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
No, and that's fair. That's fair. You know what? Lived experience means different people have different relationships with food.
Canadian crepes. French toast is king, though.
Oh, French toast is good.
We're down
I love
into the
doing-
French toast.
I do love French toast, especially because I do mine savory rather than sweet.
Sourdough based crepes. I'm not a fan
That
of
sounds
sourdough.
delicious.
I
love
not
a
fan.
sourdough.
No. Mm-mm.
Interesting.
Nope.
Good thing this isn't a hill that I die on, or I would say that would be the end of our friendship.
So be it. I will make certain to.
I did
always
say
target
it's
you
not
next
the
time
hill
we
I'm
play golf.
dying on. I'm oh shit. God damn it. All right. Okay.
You about
really make me
pulled your
consider if I'm
hair
coming
out.
back for that golf.
You about pulled your hair out that last match of golf. I was just
No.
knocking you off.
Mojito was just here. Mojito is actually the person who can make me pull my hair out playing golf. This man is relentless, and he finds it to be the funniest goddamn thing if I am suffering. This man sees my suffering and goes, "This is content." You do it for the bit. This man does it because he loves to do it. And I love him for it, Moji. I do love you.
Figure out dinner later.
But yeah, no, it's I would say cake over pie and then pancakes over waffles.
From
Just to bring us back.
Full circle.
Well, we're back. We're back. I brought us back. I got it. Nailed the landing. 10s across
There you
the
go.
board.
Stuck it. No, 9.5 Russians gigged you.
Fucking Russia.
That's not good.
Can't say I'm surprised.
Not really. They always. You ever notice that they're they're the ones that are always like a half point down from everybody else. 10. Russia says 9.5. Not good. You
Always.
And they do that for their own people. Like this, Russia finished perfect score. 10. Russia says 9.5. What?
Yeah, no, it's they're strict with everyone, themselves included. Waffle, thank you for the follow. Sucks that you're stuck there now. Sucks that you're stuck there now.
Super Gilfer would like to know. Oh God.
Guilford's one of mine. You can hit me with whatever the question is. It's fine.
It's more of a statement than a question. Or it's worded poorly, but that's all right. Super Gilfer would like to know, would that not just be a felt covered fleshlight? Answer not required.
I saw this
or
question
deserved.
come in.
Yeah.
I saw this question come in. This quote unquote question.
Came in early. I think when we were discussing.
You know, if that's what you want to do with your Muppet, that's not what I do with my Muppet. I do worry that would give you carpet burn. And carpet burn on dick does not seem like it's very fun. I'm just saying.
Ooh, that just. Nope. Mm-mm.
No. That's the answer you deserved, Guilford.
The
Yeah.
bit is deader than disco.
The bit is dead.
Disco
Excuse
still,
you. The dancing queen is only
staying alive.
17. And we're back to the dick joke. Good God.
Super Guilford would also like to know Flesh Alley is a cutie pie. That's it. That's the question.
Yeah. Oh, geez. Well, no, I'm not, but that's okay too.
You're
Wait,
on
I
cheese
realized
kit.
that was a compliment halfway through, and then I had to immediately refute it before I took it too seriously.
Too bad.
God forbid I take compliments.
Yeah. You know what? Like you didn't get an entire introduction full of them.
I know, and I had an issue with that. Don't forget. Don't act like I wasn't there for it and not stank facing you the whole time.
I don't know. I didn't. All I saw was the dead eyes of the character that's on the screen. I didn't see no stank face.
There is no such thing as abuse of the question, Redeem Guilford. Look, the Muppet doesn't emote entirely the way I need her to. It's actually something I've been considering is getting a more like almost like a live 2D model just to have her more expressive.
Is it the Canadian? I don't know. Is it the Canadian? Welcome in, Wall School.
This is the
Son
question they
of
come
Ultron.
into my stream every time with.
I see. Wow.
This is just
you
the
get to
bit
answer
now.
that. You get to answer the question now. Is it the Canadian?
No, this is Patrick.
Patrick. Why Patrick? Or Starfish.
No, this is Patrick. Well, because that's a meme from the show. He like picks up the phone and they're like, "Is this the Krusty Krab?" And he's like, "No, this is Patrick." When he was working at the Krusty Krab. So it ends up becoming a meme.
I didn't really watch much in the way of SpongeBob by the time I came out.
That's fair.
I was a bit of an adult by the time SpongeBob came out, and to be honest, if I'm being honest, SpongeBob's voice is at an octave that just gives me a headache.
Oh, it's incredibly grating.
So I don't watch it.
It's incredibly grating. I understand that.
Son of Ultron would like to know, what would you rather fight? One Snuffleupagus sized Rizzo, or 100 Rizzo sized Snuffleupagus?
Okay. Snuffleupaguses. I would have to. So here's the thing. Snuffleupagus. Who here knows who Snuffleupagus is? Do I have to give lore as to who this is?
I know who Snuffleupagus is.
You do, but I was worried about chat. Because like
the chat can Google. We're fine. Keep moving.
This is true. Well, because no, Snuffleupagus is an imaginary fucking friend. He doesn't actually and for the longest time he didn't actually exist, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would take the Rizzo-sized Snuffleupaguses, because guess what? At the end of the day, I'm just a human girl. I could just kick them, or you know, Snuffleupagus has really long eyelashes, and I can play with fire.
Fire's cool.
Fire's great. Do you know how many, like 100, what was it, 100 or 1,000 Rizzo-sized? Yeah, when in doubt, arson. And that was Elecnor.
When in doubt,
they did
burn
that.
it out. Is that how this works?
Absolutely. Those long eyelashes, they'd set on fire, and also with all that hair, and then goodbye to the Snuffleupaguses.
Okay, but so is this your way of saying that you're built fireproof? Like, is this because you're talking about playing with fire yourself, and you're a bit fuzzy?
I am.
So,
but also, I've revealed my face on stream. I do it to burn down a Snuffleupagus again. I'm willing to play dirty. And Snuffleupagus is too kind and too sweet to get into a fight. They'd be like, "Let's be friends," and I'd be like, "Burn, baby, burn, Disco Inferno."
I mean, if that is what you're into, I mean, I'm talking about a hot time. It's
Hotter
just
than
that
the
pool
fist up my
fire. The
ass.
rest, you said it, not me.
You've been making that joke all night. Don't even try to make it sound like I'm the first to do that joke.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Also, Guilford, it wasn't the idea that only his eyelashes are susceptible. It's that they come so far out of his face, like his nose, that it'd just be easier to catch them on fire first. And that way I can keep my distance. Ranged attack. Technically a reach attack if we're thinking D&D terms.
I was gonna say, yeah, reach. I would say a reach attack.
Yeah.
I mean, if we were going that route.
Blowtorch. Now that's your ranged attack.
No, flamethrower would be a ranged attack. Blowtorch is kind of.
That's true.
If we're talking range on a blowtorch, that 2-3 inches, like that's
Yeah,
if
true.
you're
I
small,
was thinking flamethrower.
You're small, fine, but if you showed up expecting to find out the various different ways that you can go about getting rid of Jim Henson's Muppets, and you have showed up to the right place. We have Jim Henson's deranged Muppet here on stage with us today.
Jim Henson would not approve of this Muppet. I'm just gonna put that out there. This is not Jim Henson approved.
Look, the first time I showed up in your stream, you were like, "Yes, I am Jim Henson's deranged Muppet." I'm like, sold. That is going. Yeah. Like I wrote that down. I'm like, that. No, that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, it was kind of like a fever dream. Once we came up with the Muppet idea, I was just like, oh, now I'm owned by Jim Henson. This is too fun to not do.
It was one of those, I'm like, nope, sorry, you're stuck now.
This is it now.
It's just
you know what? I'm glad I'm stuck as this.
Green Emerald Dragon would like to know. This one will bake your noodle for a little bit. This will be fun.
Oh, great, good.
If you were isekai'd to a world of swords and magic, and you can have 5 skills and or gifts, what would it be and why?
This is a good question. I only get 5, you say?
Yep.
This is hard. 5 only.
5 only. That's it. That's all you get.
Bag of Holding is very good. 5 is worse than picking 1 because you got to really think about it now, you know? Sorry, DEFCON. I'm so glad they introduced you to the concept of Truck-kun. And his magical transport abilities. Part of me, so there used to be a Tumblr post that was going around that said the ultimate skill to have would be to fill something up. And what that means is to fill something up. And it's very specifically like that because it could then be fill up someone's bank account, fill up someone's bladder, fill up someone's lungs with water. You get to pick the container and the object in which it is being filled, which is a dirty, dirty trick. Like, I'm not saying that that's my answer. I'm just saying it's very funny because this is the first thing I think of now every time I get this kind of question.
It's not a bad answer. I mean, honestly,
it's not.
In answers that we've had so far, that's probably the most.
I wish it was mine. That's why I wanted to give credit that it was definitely a Tumblr post I've seen. We're gonna be a bit basic. It's very JoJo's. Okay, I have a return question to Green Emerald. How strong is the power of friendship? And I only ask that because Sailor Moon
hell?
can fucking destroy planets. So I need to know how strong the power of friendship is, because that is gonna factor in to the answer. She can body Goku. I need to know if it's a power, like if that's a legitimate answer here. That's not the JoJo's theme. You're right. Okay, more like Solo Living. See, it's an important caveat. It's an important caveat. That wasn't the JoJo's theme. You're right. That was Tank from Cowboy Bebop. That's my bad. Because in my head, Coda was playing, but then instead, out my mouth came out Tank. Normal.
Look, Tank is a solid song.
Great song. It's a great song. Okay, if that is the case, I'm gonna use very basic, like,
power of friendship. Jesus.
Hey, it was an important caveat to ask. Because if that was fair game, that's going number 1 on the list, baby. I'm gonna get the biggest, strongest crew. I'm gonna be the most charming motherfucker. I'm gonna make so many friends. The more friends I have, the more powerful I am. Are you kidding me? Absolutely not. Okay. I would probably start with something like keen observation. I would probably start with something like keen observation. Someone who's gonna notice things around me. I'd like to be very highly perceptive. Maybe because I'm not in real life. Charm is a good one to have. I would actually probably add charm to my list. Because it's better to have people like you than not like you. Or trust you, even if they don't like you. You know?
Right. Well, I would also, I had a point and then it's gone. Never mind. Continue on.
Oh, okay. You sure?
Yep. Positive.
Okay.
It was there and gone.
Valid and fair. I do that all the time. The little throbber in my head doesn't work sometimes. Throbber being the loading symbol.
I'm just oh God, please. Do you understand saying that to me about the throbber? I'm like,
no, and that's why I had to. That's why I immediately clarified that I was talking about the loading, like the buffering symbol. Don't you dirty minded freaks.
That's what she said.
Quite literally. Okay. I want observation. I want perception. I want charisma. You didn't have to, Jeff. You didn't have to, DEFCON. I know. I know what I am and I know what I say. There you go. See? Personally, I would like teleportation. Because I don't want to drive. I don't want to learn to drive. Driving is not something I'm interested in. If I could get somewhere fast, fucking give it to me. I hope there's not a caveat like I have to see the space to teleport into it. This is not D&D rules. Please let me just imagine them. Because then I would also teleport myself into this vault of a bank. I probably would have been a villain in any sort of fantasy world, just because immediately my mind is, how do I make money fast?
You would not be the first one that's come up with that. Like, how do I make money fast? Like, I need to be able to survive, so I'm gonna make just like give me the thing. Important. You would not be the first one who's come up with that, has made that statement. Like, I just need to make money fast. Like, I'm gonna take the skills that's gonna let me make cash.
A cash is important. For me, it's cash and then like health. So some sort of like ability to heal myself. And this is not me asking for immortality. That sounds like torture. I just want to be able to make sure that if I get hurt, I can fix myself just as fast. But I age naturally. I want to die of old age. I don't want to die sooner than that. You know what I mean? Right. And then, you know what? I'll take a bag of holding. Gotta put all my shit somewhere, right? I am a bit of a life hoarder. Not an actual hoarder, just like a sentimental hoarder. So there we go. That's 5. Hopefully that is is amenable to you, Green Emerald, because also I realize that if I get isekai'd, I'm not the main character.
Why is
I'm a
that?
support character.
Why is that?
Because fuck being the main character.
Too much work.
They get
I
into
get
so
that.
much shit. I'd rather just vibe in the background, make a bunch of money, be able to be like, look, I'll just vibe this out. Yeah, I'd rather be an OP NPC. Give me the barmaid who knows she can fuck up the adventuring party any day of the week than the adventurer who went and had killed God.
See, I would be, and here's the trouble, right? Because the OP NPC character gets screwed just as bad. Like anytime you are the OP, forget about it. You are the main character whether you want to be or not. Because everybody who's ever been OP that tries not to be the main character ends up being the main character anyways. And the fact that you've been isekai'd means that you are automatically the main character.
I'd like to think with the powers that I've chosen that I'm not going to end up as OP, you know?
Good luck.
And Guilford already also was like, I think the sentiment of fuck being the MC makes you the main character.
Yeah.
I'm like,
pretty much. Pretty much. You hosed yourself. You went, yes, I went and got isekai, damn it. Like that right there kind of qualifies you as the main character. How do you know you're the main character? Get isekai'd. Truck-kun has run you over. You're the main character now. Son of a. You don't want to be the main character? Avoid being isekai'd. Don't do it.
This is why I don't drive, because then Truck-kun can't get me as easily. You know where Truck-kun can get you? On the road.
Truck-kun, no. Truck-kun will get you anywhere. Truck-kun's relentless.
My favorite, like, isekai kind of Truck-kun story, there's an anime called Zombieland Saga.
Mm-hmm.
And this girl, it's like the first episode. You really should watch it. But she like runs out of her house. It's like the beginning of the episode. She just gets hit by a truck immediately. Like the episode is like, she's like got her bread in her mouth. She's like, I'm off to school. Ka-toom. It's so good. And she's in your house. Itakimasu. Koof.
Done. Like, we're not even going to bother with like the story or get to know anybody or how her life is or anything else. Yep, walk out, splat. Go, problem solved.
That's exactly what ends up happening.
Get
it's
isekai'd.
So funny.
Morbidly a Beast, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the network. Like, it's fine. It's fine. For those of you just tuning in right now, we are currently doing Our Talk Tuesday. Our Talk Tuesday is a special time where we sit around and we get to chat with a fantastic streamer. Tonight's special guest is the infamously phenomenal and fabulous Ali Cutie Pie, who's currently making really gross faces at me across the screen because they don't like it when we say nice things about them. But we do periodically like to remind you that we are indeed speaking with an Ali Cutie Pie. If you are enjoying the conversation, you're enjoying the individual that you are hearing on the screen, well, you should be able to, there should be a link in chat. Yeah. So if you just click on their name in the title, it'll get you a way to link. And if you stick around long enough, we will do shout outs and everything else to make it that much easier for you to follow and enjoy all of the fabulous Ali Cutie Pie content. And if you're lucky, you might even get to see how and how much KY jelly they use in order to get that hand.
What do you mean? It's a gaping hole. It's so easy to get in there.
It's just white and dirty. Sorry. Not really. Sorry.
Oh, that's
Not
so
really.
good. No, it was so good.
Let's see. We did that one. We did, Swift Squirrel would like to know, have you taught anywhere other than Japan?
I've taught here in Canada, but most of my time living abroad, actually, I've only lived abroad twice. It was Japan and Taiwan. And Taiwan was to actually for studying Mandarin. And it was like a 2-month stint. It was like my first time living abroad. I was 19 years old. 19 years old on my first day. I arrive at like 6 in the morning in Taiwan. I get to an apartment where I sign a contract I can't read, that my family's kind of paid for, and they're like, "Hey, by the way, you gotta like, um, you have to wipe up after you shower because there's no like lip to the shower. It's just like flat floor." And I put the broom, the mop to the ground, and a massive cockroach crawls out of the mop. And I just immediately call home. I'm like, "You need to get me the fuck out of here, man. Get me out." This thing was like 2 inches long. They got
that's
the
not
big
bad.
beefy cockroaches.
Well, okay. We
Like 2
call those
inches or 3
palmetto
inches.
bugs where we're at down here. We actually have those big cockroaches like that.
Ugh. Ugh.
Called palmetto bugs, and there's so much. They're fine.
I get
They're-
it, but hit me who's never
They're
seen
not the
one.
little dinky ones.
They're not tiny. They're big meaty boys that crunch when you kill them, and I was
Oh, yeah.
just I was
Oh, yeah.
not down with the sickness, and so I was like, "Mom, get me out of here." She's like, "You have to we paid for that trip. You suffer it out. You're on scholarship out there, dummy." I'm like,
Suck it up, Buttercup. You're not coming back until you've got that education tackled.
and that is exactly what happened. I did not come back for 2 months.
That's got to be a rewarding experience, though. I mean, yeah, you get
Incredibly
past the
so.
cockroach thing.
Yeah. Oh, very much so. I had a great time. I was adopted by a group of like 50 Americans who were all there studying through their universities, and I'd kind of come up alone
Mhm.
from mine, and so they were like, "Okay, you're one of us now, Canada." I think that was actually the first time I ever puked from drinking. Not to get back to puke, but full circle.
I mean, full circle. We're gonna spin right round, baby.
Spinning me like a record, baby, right round.
Yeah, that's see. Exactly. Was there any? Did you want to ever like teach in a particular place, or was that just?
My goal originally was
Happy
to teach
answer.
in Korea. My original goal was to teach in Korea, but
Mhm.
the Korean one was not as secure as the Japan program. The Korean, like, you'd have to find your own apartment. You were teaching at what would be called most likely a hagwon, which is like an after school program
Right.
for kids, where they're known for not treating their teachers very well. They do a lot of like midnight flights where people just suddenly leave the country. And so having heard that, I looked into this Japanese program, which is called the JET program. It's actually where I met Casey MO, who's in
Mhm.
chat right now. She is actually my roommate when we were in Japan.
Nice.
So she's lived with the flesh tuber. She knows the
You
chaos
poor
that I
thing,
bring
we're
in
sorry.
person. Yeah, pretty much. Look, this lovely, beautiful soul did not drink or cuss before she met me, and unfortunately, she has been.
Now that's all they do, right? Is that?
No. She's still good, but I've definitely corrupted her a little bit.
Scarred for life. We hear there's a program for
truly.
that. We'll get you.
Fucking Oyasumi to you too, Casey. But yeah, no, I'd originally wanted to teach in Korea. It just there was more security provided through the Japan
Mhm.
program, and admittedly, I didn't even make the Japan program the first time. They had waitlisted me, and it was actually while I was recovering from that back and chest surgery that they called me to be like, "Hey, can you leave at the end of September?" And I was like, "I'll make it work."
Nice. It's
And
always.
it was.
Go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say you go ahead.
Mm-mm. Nope.
I was gonna say it
Go.
was the best, the best and worst 2 years of my life.
Fair. I mean, it's still an experience, though. I mean, and that's the
it's
thing.
an incredible one.
All I was going to say is, being able to have life experiences like that are always just, absolutely phenomenal. They help to yeah, it's gone now.
You tonight, Nori.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's actually a regular thing for me.
Is it an age thing, Nori?
No, absolutely not. Maybe, possibly. So we're dealing with a bit of cold weather down here, which is unusual for us this time of year. And by cold weather, I mean, could you have kept your freaking storm clouds up there with you and not send them down here? Damn it!
Hey, guess what? I'm not from a part of Canada that gets snow. We also shut down when there's any snow.
We're not from a part of the States that's used to getting snow. And now I grew up military, so I'm well traveled around the United States.
Mm-hmm.
Like I grew up all over the place here in the U.S. So I know what snow looks like. I know how to deal with snow. I know how to drive in snow. I give people hard times about snow. I like snow.
Sure.
It's okay. That being said, there are definitely people in this particular area that have no business even looking at snow because it causes them to freak out and then they run off the road and do terrible stupid things.
That's the same way where it is up here. It's very common in my part of Canada that we get snow tires for the winter and then they get recalled back east because they didn't, for some reason, have enough snow tires, despite the fact that this happens every goddamn year. And then we get snow, we don't have enough snow tires, we don't have people who are used to it. The whole city kind of panics and shuts down for a considerable amount of time.
Right. Yeah. Pretty much.
And then the rest of the people who've like imported from other provinces are making fun of us. Like, why can't you deal with the snow? We're in Canada. Yeah, well, not all of us have to deal with but fuck freezing, you know?
It's fine. It will be all right.
Common misconception that all of Canada is like freezing cold all of the time.
I don't assume anywhere is freezing cold all the time unless somebody's complaining about being freezing cold.
But you know what I mean? Like that consistent, like the winters are consistent across the board.
Oh yeah. It's just fine.
I personally don't like the cold. So when I was living in Sapporo and it became minus 15 Celsius, I was miserable.
Oh, we're dealing with I think it's down to like 7C right now. Maybe a little colder than that.
7C?
Yeah.
7 Celsius?
Yes.
Oh, that's lovely weather.
Not for down here.
Good God.
Down in
the puzzle's done.
Down in the deep southeast. Anything like 7 or anything down close to 0C is like these people are losing their minds. Terrible, awful, no good, very bad. Yeah.
Yeah, these are all awful, and I'm very sorry for all of you.
Let me see.
But couldn't be me.
I don't know. Normally,
I'm not built for the cold.
There it is. It is currently 1 degree outside, and they're forecasting -9 tomorrow.
That's the bad part.
Always put more clothes on. Can't always take them off.
Really, America's going through the Katy Perry experience right now in the most impressive way possible. Half the part of the country's on fire, the other one's dumped in snow.
Yeah, pretty much.
Can you guys make up your mind?
No, not one bit.
Fair enough.
Not at all.
Fair enough.
Okay, we did that one. We did that one. Did that one. Sir Bearded Waffle would like to know: would you rather speak every language in the world or play every instrument in the world?
Speak every language in the world. Easy.
Why?
As much as I love music, I prefer to be a enjoyer of music than a maker of music as much as I used to sing. Um, for me, before I did my film degree, I have a degree in anthropology. So to be able to speak every language in the world, the fastest gateway to culture is language.
Well, okay, but no, well, I would say music is just as fast.
Music's just as fast, but you can't live somewhere and only use music. You know what I mean? If I were to go immerse myself somewhere, to have the language and to be able to like talk with people and hear stories, music is good. You can make music, but if you can't speak the language, can you understand the music? If it's like in a different language?
Yes. Music is a fundamental, right?
I agree.
If you can play any instrument in the world, then you can communicate via music to anybody. Like if I make a sad song on an instrument and play it for somebody,
True.
I can evoke an emotion. I can conceptually communicate an idea to somebody.
You can conceptually communicate an idea to someone. For me, I think where I'm coming from is like with my anthropology degree and my writing stuff, I want like oral storytelling, like actual like that kind of cultural exchange of like tell me the stories, be able to converse with me, teach me, you know, about why this thing is culturally important.
Well, yeah, but music is the way that we pass down history as well, right?
That's true.
So again, whether you speak or you play, you're still going to be able to basically reach into every culture. You're still going to be able to communicate, and you're still going to be able to see all of the history from it. You chase up the music through the ages. You look at like the Renaissance period on up, even today with the various difference of pops and steampunk and like all the different style of musics that are out there. Like it's all telling a story about the culture of the people that invented that particular style of music.
Yeah.
So I think you could go either way on that.
Yeah, I understand that. I think like for me, I used to be a big K-pop fan, right?
Right.
If I'd have to Google and look up the lyrics because, you know, sometimes like pop music can be very deceiving where it sounds like they are very upbeat and fun, but the actual lyrics are very sad.
Right.
Right. And if I can't understand, if I can't understand the words, I can be misconstrued conceptually. If that makes sense.
You could, but in this particular point, when we're talking about just playing music, because the question is speak every language or play any instrument.
Or play every instrument.
Right.
That's anime theme songs. Correct.
If your only method of communicating between different languages is by playing music on an instrument, you can have a discourse.
You can have a discourse. I think for me, I hold more value in the communication through like, and you know, I say storytelling, but I mean literally like the oral tradition of storytelling. Like,
no, I get that.
You know, hearing the myths and the fables and stuff like that. Like that holds a little bit more weight to me than just the conceptual storytelling. And that's not to me say that I don't.
No.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. As long as we understand that,
I'm
not saying it's too different. Wrong.
Like you want to hear the story. You want to get the concepts behind the whole thing. See, I'm a musician. I enjoy playing music, and I enjoy sitting down with another fellow musician. We never have to say any words. I can pick up my instrument, start playing my instrument, and they can turn around and start playing along, and we never say one word about it. They just pick it up and start playing. And so to me, that's a whole level of communication. So we're two different coins on this. There's nothing bad about it. I'm not saying what you're saying is wrong. Okay. That's not what this is about. Like and
I agree with you on that. Like you definitely, music does transcend language in and of itself. But I think what we're taking away from those conversations is different, and thus need a different method of communication.
You are absolutely correct on that. Like for me, I would prefer to play every instrument. just because I like the sound of music. I like being able to communicate on that level with people, and having that emotional communication that comes with how music is interpreted by people who hear it. Right.
Yeah. I mean, I
Uh,
I love making music. It's a little bit if coming from like a vocal performance aspect of it, like I wish I could play instruments. God, I wish.
mhm.
I do love jamming with my friends, like out loud.
Yeah.
Actually, when I went to go visit my friend Takapo VGM last month, nope, 2 months ago, we secretly recorded some music together, um,
Nice.
which is very rare because I don't normally like to hear the sound of myself singing. Um, but like music in and of itself, incredibly fun, incredibly powerful means. But yeah, it's just coming different backgrounds are going to look for different things in that communication. New puzzles up?
New puzzles up.
Nice.
Because we keep a puzzle going. This one's a little bit smaller than we did the last one. I just figured we got about an hour left. So I figured 300
Yeah, that's
piece, we can
perfect.
probably get that done. So it shouldn't take long. But yeah, no,
Secret
I mean,
music. It'll eventually come out, Gilfer.
secret music, the best kind of music. I mean,
It'll
for
be out
me,
eventually.
I'm like I said, I like playing music. I like the uh emotional levels of communications that you can have with somebody, whether you sing to the song or not. And even in cases where you have people singing, like I like listening to music even in languages I don't understand,
Oh yeah.
because I still understand the notes, I still understand the melody. That there's a way that you're singing it that's going to evoke a feeling that comes along with it.
Yeah.
And for a guy, for me, I'm a software developer, right? So we deal in a lot of cold logic.
Yeah.
That emotional communication that happens, that music lets you do, to me is very important, and it's what I like to listen to, and communicating ideas based on emotional feelings, happy, sad. They're very powerful, very primitive, very primal emotions that you can then gesture to people. I'm not saying you can't do it in words. I'm not saying you can't write a poem that will upset
Absolutely.
people and cause for rancor and argument and raucous discourse and that sort of thing. You can totally do that.
Nori, can I caveat really quickly because there is
Yeah.
a question that came up that I saw in chat that I would like to answer quickly because I don't know when that
Go.
man is going to bed.
Go.
Casey, for your dad. Hi, hello, hi, dad. I love you. Madre Muppet's sick right now. Madre Muppet is my actual real life mother who has appeared on my stream before. And since
No,
Casey and I used to be roommates, our parents have met, so they're kind of like friendly as well.
no, that's fine.
But her dad goes to
All good.
bed real well, mind you, it's only 6:40, so it shouldn't be that early. But then actually I'm gonna swing this to a question for you,
Mhm. Sure.
because now that we're on the topic of music, is there a song in video games that like is he going to bed actually? Oh my god, I know this man so well. I'm so proud of myself for knowing your dad that well. I need you to know that I'm genuinely so proud right now of myself. Um, is there a game or is there a song, any song in any game that has kind of like really elicited some big emotions from you, and or like is a personal favorite?
Not from video games. I have a lot of video game. So if, for anybody that watches my streams enough, I actually play my games with the music turned off. Um,
Interesting.
the reason why I play video games with the music turned off is because I write my own music, and I tend to listen to music. And so when I play a game and there's music playing in the background, my brain is trying to pull that music apart to figure out how
Valid
to
and
play it.
fair.
And so it's a very big distraction for me. Very big
That's actually
distraction.
really fair.
So
Chat, I'm
I
gonna
don't.
actually extend that to you as well.
Now that
Because now
being
I'm
said,
curious.
when I was a kid, I loved Mega Man 2's theme song. That was my 8-bit jam back in the day.
I've never played a Mega Man game.
Um,
It's on my list
so
though.
Uh, I can still hear the song in my head right now. It's
That's
like
lovely.
I can conjure it. It's very easy. So for me, yeah, that's I don't generally listen to it, and I get a lot of grief about it. Like if you just turn on the music, you would hear what we're talking about. No, no. Mm-mm. If I turn the music on, I can't shut my brain off, and now I'm now completely distracted by the music.
That's fair. For me, there is I recently got the chance to play a little bit of Hollow Knight.
Oh, lovely.
Um
I
Beautiful
heard it's
game.
supposed to have a great soundtrack behind it.
It's got a fantastic soundtrack, but there is one specific song performed by a specific character, and emotionally it just hits for me so hard. Um and
You
it's
wanna
not a very complex
right,
like song, but there is
right,
a story that goes with it that has so much impact that I'm like,
nice,
oh, this is like emotionally for me, it makes so much sense.
right.
And that is the City of Tears.
Oh, yeah, I know the song. I've heard a few licks of that one.
And specifically when you combine it with there's an NPC called Marissa. Marissa's
Mm-hmm.
song specifically. Oh, if you're okay with spoilers for that, I can talk more, but I
Yeah,
was
yeah, yeah.
actually
You're
gonna like
fine.
end that there.
You're
So
fine.
Marissa, so the idea with Hollow Knight is that like pretty much everyone you meet, aside from a very few people, are dead.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and this is the spirit of a songstress from the City of Tears who you kind of come across and is like, oh, fantastic. I can finally have an audience again. And like being able to perform her last song to an audience. And it's just it's very simple. It's beautifully done. But like I don't know, that always had like such a big emotional impact for me.
If if we wanted to go on the subject of really big emotional impacts from a piece of music, um,
Please.
honestly, the one that hits hardest for me and has it still does to this day. And I'm sorry, Joe is a phenomenal composer. Like
Oh, Hisaishi. Okay, I already could tell where
I
you were back in
wish
Ghibli.
I was half the composer that that man is. Like just to have the talent in one of his fingers, like just god level.
We are never gonna find another composer like him in our lifetime. I feel like.
No, just absolutely phenomenal. But Nausicaa of the Wind Valley,
Oh,
that
yeah.
hits so hard on so many levels, and just the chorus part alone will bring me to tears every time. It is such a beautiful piece of music.
There is
Just
one Joe Hisaishi song I can no longer listen to, and it is the theme from Grave of the Fireflies.
oh, that's a good one too.
If I hear that, even if it's remixed in another song, I have to turn it off.
Fair.
But yeah, he's very good at evoking emotion through music.
Yes. Yep. And you don't even need to understand the words of the song. It
No.
just brings a tear. It is
Yeah,
just a
no,
beautiful
absolutely.
piece of music. Um, but yeah, as far as video games go, no, I haven't. I love game developers. They do a really good job at what they do when they make a really good game. Unfortunately, game companies don't generally on hand employ really good composers. Like music's kind of secondary in there, unfortunately, in some cases.
Yes and no. In some cases. Um there's been I wouldn't say a trend in like AAA titles, but definitely in indie there is a lot more care put into music now. Hollow Knight is actually a stunning example of this because they did have an actual composer come in and do all the music, and you
Mm-hmm.
can tell when you play that game that it is properly composed and with the care like put into it. I think what is the other one? I think Celeste is another one that they brought in like a proper composer to really do a proper soundtrack for it. and it kind of thematically follows the story as well.
I've played a little bit of Hollow Knight, but again, I don't have the music turned on. I will have to go and listen to the soundtrack.
Absolutely.
But generally, as a whole, no, I don't sit down and listen to the video game soundtrack. So
I don't often listen to video game soundtracks. I will, if something kind of pops into my head. Carl! Sorry, that was instinct. There- that was straight up instinct. Like, for me, and you've played this, Baldur's Gate 3, fantastic game, right? I do actually think the soundtrack is one of the weaker elements of that game.
Me and the Fafo boys spent a year on that game.
Yeah, I remember. I remember because I remember seeing it like every week. I'm like, oh, they're playing Baldur's Gate again. I wonder how it's going. Or like sometimes you'd raid me and be like, how's it going? Give me the details.
We spent a year on that, but we did the whole, if the party wiped, we start over again every time. And the last party that actually went through to finish that game was absolutely the most insane party. Like, that party had no business completing the game. Like, we had far better makeup groups than that one should have had.
What did the group end up being?
The group ended up being a thief that basically doubled as our healer, because all he did was make healing potions the entire time. Nice. There was a fighter sorcerer who basically spent all of his time drinking strength potions and throwing things everywhere.
Yeah, like literally
picking up, like legitimately just picking up mobs. Like if he could grab it, pick it up, he would just throw things everywhere. Like, I had no business just yeeting things all over the place. It just was doing it anyways.
Sometimes you just gotta yeet,
Something shouldn't be yeeted. And then we had the druid that was converting into a mind flayer.
Nice.
That spent most of their time in running away from combat.
Oh, perfect.
And so that was our group. No, excuse me. We also had the dwarf warlock. That was the other one.
I was gonna say, I know the Fafo group. You're missing one.
Yeah. There was the dwarf warlock with the bearded butt hair.
With the bearded butt. Okay. Yeah, that checks out. I don't know why I ever get surprised you say stuff on this channel. I know these boys well enough to be like, these men are goofy goobers.
Look, in chapter 3, he got into a sex scene, and we ad-libbed the fact that, we were impressed by the fact that he had bearded butt hair. And it turned out that, well, of course he had bearded butt hair. He was dwarven royalty, and all dwarven royalty braid their butt hair, don't you know?
Don't you know? If you can't spread those cheeks and find a braid, then are you really royalty?
See, brother's butt hair. Hello, Jolly Green Carl. How goes? Welcome in.
Hi, Carl.
The calamari man. Oh, yes. I learned very quickly never to stick my head in Zoda's streams ever again.
Carl, glad to know you're royalty. I'm really glad that's what you come in and admit.
So Zoda decided to romance the emperor in the middle of our. Yeah, and so I invaded his because you can invade each other's dreams while you're waiting for everybody to finish off their dream segments. And so my dream segment with the emperor turned out we decided that given a chance I would kill him and he would kill me, and we were just going to leave each other alone. Like, that was the way we settled out. I stuck my head over into Zoda's stream, and he's like, "Come here, bring your tentacles closer." And I'm like, "Wait, what did I just walk into? Oh God, quick, get out, no, Scar."
Sometimes you just gotta walk in on a little
No.
Squid love.
A little. That was a lot of squid love. That was a lot of tentacle on tentacle action.
Ugh. You're right. Never mind. I don't want to see that. You're so right. I don't want to see that. I've lied.
Yeah, a lot of suction cups. It was just a lot of suction, period.
Do you guys question?
Yeah.
If a suction cup got stuck to a suction cup,
Mm-hmm. It would
how do
really
you get
suck.
them off? It would really suck.
I'm not gonna. You know what? No, I can't say that one. Never mind.
I love how you've been censoring yourself. Meanwhile, I'm like, hey, let me just say this really raunchy thing.
You're fine. You're fine. I haven't been
Casey,
censoring myself all that well. I have not been censoring myself all that well, by the way.
Okay, good. Good.
There are just. I am a paramedic. And being a paramedic means that I worked in the hospital industry and whatnot. And you want to talk about some really raunchy stuff.
Oh, for
really
sure.
Really raunchy stuff comes right out of the medical field. Basically, we see it all. And I have seen, I have delivered 4 or 5 babies at this point in my life. Like there's not really much of anything I have not seen.
Oh, good God.
So when it comes down to getting raunchy, yes. And I censor myself an awful lot because I will slip into medical raunch real quick. And you're like, oh, no, can't say that. That's not
valid
appropriate.
And fair. Valid and fair.
Came into Allie saying raunchy things literally. Yeah, fair. That seems
well, it's better than when people were coming in earlier and when I was talking about fisting myself.
So yeah. There you go. Plus HIPAA. Yes, we really do. And
no Plague. That's not even on my channel, Plague. That's a Nori clip now. That's Nori's. Nori's gonna raid me most likely, and then there's gonna be a clip of me being like, "Me fist myself."
Yep, that'll be a thing. It'll be a thing that pops up.
It'll
also be a thing that pops up at somebody else's place. I will raid somebody else, and suddenly that'll show up and be like,
that's even worse.
Look, you're fine. Clipped to your heart's content. If it's not clipped, it's perfectly fine. Look, I go and raid. There's a clip from a Talk Tuesday with the regime team where they're talking about their erotica tales. It's fine. Or
I really want to start a smut podcast called Pulp Friction. Or it's just a smut book club.
Just make certain you keep.
I heard the groan of trying to keep that one back.
I'll tell you afterwards. No, I had a commentary to that one, and I will tell you off stream. I will tell you off stream.
Okay, bet.
Remind me after stream, and I will.
Oh, so Green Emerald, you know what Omegaverse is. I see what it is. I see how it is.
Wow. Just wow.
What? What? I'm a degen from the internet. I know things.
You're fine.
I know things I shouldn't know.
It's fine. It's fine. Elecnor would like to know better Weird Al song performed this way. Eat it. What's On This Way, Eat It, or White and Nerdy? Oh, what do you think is the better Weird Al song? Yeah.
I think that's kind of a loaded question because personally my favorite is Amish Paradise. If I had to pick one, maybe Eat It. Oh, Elecnor, thank you for telling me. That's really sad though. Unless I do a little colon to it and add a smut book club, and then it's fair game again.
Fair game. Plague Dog, thank you for the follow.
It's called Finding the Loophole. better
You
than the
would be
other
an
homes that
expert
we
at
can
finding
find.
the hole. I mean, because you stick a fist in it every time. I just
Vigorous handshaking as we both went for hole jokes.
put her there. High five. Fist bump.
High five
Elbows. There we
indeed.
go. It's fine. It's fine. Amazing. Just get them all.
Look,
in
it
there.
was
It's fine.
Pulp Fiction or The Books and the Bees. Because originally the podcast was going to be me and my mom, which is even weirder.
You could be the paper cut between the knees.
It was really
Sorry.
good. It was really good. It was really good. It was really good.
Sorry.
No, you're good. You're great. I love that.
Uh,
It's like the pain that's like you cringe so hard, but it's like the best kind of cringe. Casey,
okay.
sweet summer child. It's fine. Don't worry about it. We're not actually getting into MPreg, by the way. And we're not talking about it full time. I refuse to.
Lady experiment. I'm afraid to tell you, we've already done the pancakes or waffles. Pancakes.
Oh
win,
yeah, that was
waffles.
already informed. Waffle told them in chat when it came up.
Yep.
I did say pancakes. I know.
Unfortunately,
controversial
the
take.
program just catches the questions. It doesn't catch all the conversations that happen between them.
That's super fair.
Like that wouldn't make any sense because then the questions would scroll off the page again, and I'm back at catch 22
Yeah,
trying to figure out
exactly.
scroll, find the question. It's fine. It's fine.
It's
DEF CON would like to know, what do you teach?
I
what
used to
did you
teach English. Yeah, I used to teach English. So when I was in Japan, this was ages 12 to 15, and this would be from like, "Hi, my name is. This is a pen," and then like later on it would be like paragraphs and trying to do like simple sentence structure and whatnot, or slightly more complicated sentence structure. And then here as well, back in Canada, I would teach like phonics, reading, ESL, and then also like essay writing and test prep, basic arithmetic. I was not a big math teacher.
No?
No, I'm not a big math person. I'm not a fan of numbers. But teaching in Japan made me realize that I didn't want to teach or have kids.
See, and here I had listed I knew I forgot something in your introduction. I had a line in there that was like, a whiz with numbers, but don't ask her to count past 4 because
Mood. That's actually really honest. Yeah. 1, I can count to 1. 2, I can count to 2. 3, I can count to 3. 4. Yeah, that is a mood.
It's fine. It's fine. Yeah, I was going to write that joke in there around when I was talking about the golf segment, and I completely missed it. I'm like, oh, I forgot that one. I meant to put that. That was going to be so much fun. Oh well.
It was already plenty fun. It was a really good intro. You put a lot of effort in there.
I actually have every introduction that I've written for everybody on every Talk Tuesday, and every Talk Tuesday gets a custom introduction. Like these aren't so like cute. Copy and paste.
No, you could tell. Because they're so personalized.
Yep, it's fun.
DEF CON, I have to ask: when you say your wife's an English teacher, is she like the cardigan English teacher? And that's kind of like a meme where big comfy cardigan, folded, closed, crossed arms, like very kind. I feel like English teachers come in like very specific types.
Look. My English teacher growing up was this little old lady Um, and we used to we would go into the English class, and she used to get so mad at us. One day, I kid you not, and this, when I say little old lady, I mean she was in her 70s.
Yeah.
She couldn't have weighed much more than maybe 90 pounds, 95, 100 pounds soaking wet. That would be about it. We would get her so upset. At one point, she yelled at the entire class, and she's like, I don't know what your guys' problem is, but if you don't knock it the hell off, I'm going to get so mad. I'm going to turn green, jump up on this desk, and go Hulk on everybody. Whole class fell out and cheers laughing. Like we couldn't. This little.
That's so cute.
Yeah.
Also, Defcon, the fact that your wife has pun sweaters, can she link me to her wardrobe, please? Because I would love that.
Oh, that's fantastic. That is amazing.
That is, I want to know where that wardrobe is from because that would be so good.
Lady Experiment would like to know, what is your favorite ice cream flavor?
Easy chocolate chip cookie dough. I am a diehard Ben and Jerry's kind of girl because I like the tactile experience of eating the ice cream. So
Okay.
like when there's like the big chunks of the dough and the chocolate chips, ooh, I'm a happy camper.
I have to ask the question, why does
Yes.
everybody love frozen dough? I've yet
Good
to ever
question.
understand this. And I say this because growing up for me, and people have heard this before, but growing up for me, my mother and her mother, and they're big, super sweet fans. So
Yeah.
I always had cookies and pies and mousses and cakes, and like dessert was a meal on its own in my house growing up.
I'm jealous.
I can't so much so I can't stand syrup. I can't stand sugar. I don't ask me cookies. I don't do cakes. I don't do a lot of sweet things because just the thought of it hurts my teeth.
Cookies are probably like, this is the most Muppet thing I'm about to say.
Mm-hmm.
I think cookies are one of my favorite desserts of all time. So that does help. I think for me, it's that it provides a different flavor profile to the ice cream. When you're eating the cookie dough, it's not just, oh, this is base cookie, it's more than that. It's got a little bit of vanilla in it. It's got it's something to bite into that isn't like, I personally find not overly sweet.
Yeah, to me,
I feel would disagree.
cookie dough is just gritty egg. Like that's what cookie dough tastes to me, is gritty egg. Just really gritty, syrupy egg, and to me, it's disgusting. I'm like, why? Why would you? Again, we had this all the time, and it was fed to us all the time. Like here, leftover cookie dough. Eat the cookie dough. You like the cookie dough? No, please stop shoveling it down
I was
my
not
throat.
allowed to have the cookie dough growing up.
Oh yeah, no.
My family was like, "Oh, you're gonna die if you eat that. You're gonna get the salmonellas, and you're gonna die."
No. That was regular. Like regular as clock tick. The thing that would happen around the dessert was being made, and there was always a fight for who got to lick the spoon. As a kid, there was always a spoon or a whisk or a bowl or something.
I think it's
like the cooking instruments for the sweets was passed along for licking opportunities to people.
Sure.
And
for me personally, I find it more how do I want to word this? It wasn't about the fact that it knowing me, I probably usually have to. it wasn't about the fact that it was like, oh, I mean, yes, it is a sweet thing, right?
Hmm.
But it's more, oh, this is a sweet thing I get to eat soon, and I'm excited, and I get to have this little bit of like a teaser to the final product that I've worked really hard on with this person
Right.
I love.
Oh, see, we were
And
never
so,
allowed in the kitchen. We were always chased out of the kitchen. So
see, I got to be part of the baking process, but then that meant I didn't get to eat any of the goods.
nope. So in my family growing up, all the men were not allowed in the kitchen, and so we were thrown out.
Oh, that's strict. Okay.
Yeah, get out of the way. You're just getting in the way. Go somewhere else. Go watch TV. Go sit on the couch. There's chores outside to be done. There's something. Get out of the hair. Go
Yeah.
away. Like
Yeah, no, my
that
family
was.
is very like the kitchen is a communal place, it's kids are very much allowed to be part of the baking process and whatnot. I learned to cook pretty early on.
Mhm.
I think I was like able to do like full meals for myself by 10.
Yeah,
I didn't have
I
to. There was no reason for me to. It was just
right.
ability to have that independence.
Nice. Yeah, for me, I didn't learn to cook until I was in my late teens. It was when I got to learn how to cook, and I basically got shown how to cook some eggs and whatnot really quick. Dessert was never a thing that I was taught
Yeah.
how to cook. And then I was shoved out the door, and like okay, you now know how to go survive on your own. Now go be a man and
You know
get
how to
lost.
cook an egg. That's
I know how to cook
100%
an egg.
survival. That's
uh,
what do you mean that's not
I lived my bachelorhood cooking some of the most atrocious things, but I learned to cook.
hey, and that's important. My family was big on like, you know, independence, being able to survive once you're out of the house, not just survive but thrive.
Hmm.
So my brother was put in cooking classes when he was a kid. He had shown interest in it and my family was like, "Yeah, okay. Go learn to cook properly. Go learn how to use knife skills."
Tend the rabbits, George. I love that for sure.
It's such a I love the idea. I want to see what the sweater looks like.
It's fantastic. Let's see. Casey. Oh, we already handled that one.
Yeah.
Plague
Yes, I
Dog.
handled that one.
Uh,
Ooh,
we're going to get one from Plague Dog, and this is actually going to wrap us up into our last 15 minutes where you get your final two questions and then we rate out because we are coming to the end of the
sounds
show,
good.
unfortunately.
That's a
It's always
shame. It's been
it,
very fun.
it goes by so quickly. Most everybody's like, wait, we're almost done already? Wait, no, no. I'm
I
like,
know,
no, no.
right?
It goes by
Time
quick
flies when
when
you're
you're
having
having
fun.
fun. Exactly.
Vigorous
But Plague
handshaking once
Dog.
again.
Wait. No, give me back my finger. You can't keep that.
Ah,
um, Plague Dog would like to know what's one. Hey, Plague Dog, I love you to death, man. That's my question.
Oh, you're like halfway through reading it. You're like, hold the phone here.
Okay, I do like this portion.
Absolutely not. We'll borrow half the question.
We'll give half the question, but like, yeah, a good chunk of this is part of the end questions that we ask on the way out the door.
Okay.
You're psychic, right? Blake Dog would like to know what's one mistake you wish you'd avoided when you started streaming.
Ooh, there's a couple of things that I can speak to. You know, one thing is understanding your own boundaries as a person, what
Mm-hmm.
you are, what you aren't comfortable with, and how to set those in an online place. Um, the internet can be a very social place, but it can also be a decently parasocial place. And understanding the difference between those two. Um, and, like, and this is gonna be kind of a cynical view. I'm aware of that ahead of time, but
Mm-hmm.
um, there is a part of Twitch that is transactional.
Yes.
You know, um, being grateful for that transaction is one thing. Allowing people into your lives and, you know, how much influence they hold because of those transactions is different. And then in the same vein, saying, okay, who is outside of that transaction still someone that I care about and is a friend and that I love and, you know, want to have in my personal space? Like, where is the line between these two things and how do you navigate through it? um I think that's it's hard, especially as things become more and more online and these things blur a little bit more over time.
Right.
It is not something you pick up right away. It is something learned through trial and error, unfortunately. And through having friends who are like in that space and can understand and know you well enough to be like, okay, you know, we're noticing this thing that we need you, like, we're going to bring up to you, and like maybe you haven't seen it yet. The other thing, uh, you know, maybe don't be a flesh, don't face reveal so quick. Maybe don't show your face on the internet so soon. Maybe you're gonna want to keep that hidden a little longer, buddy.
it I okay. So I would go so far as to say that the things that you should keep in mind. The internet is not any different of a place than the real world is. The only caveat I would add to that is that the internet allows for people to have some level of anonymity. Like, it's one thing to be a person in chat and just be like, yeah, whatever, talk smack, talk smut, talk whatever, and you know, close out the chat and be like, I don't actually have any consequences to deal with because of that.
Yeah.
Right. So that's one thing to keep in mind, is that is a very real thing, and there are people that are like that. There are also people that are very personal. Now, in the real world, when you're face to face with a person, you still have some level of anonymity. If you're just meeting a stranger on the street for the first time, there's no guarantee you're ever going to see or talk to them again. There's no reason for them to be nice to you. We do it anyways out of, you know, politeness, because that's a society expectation. I would say that the internet has its own level of society expectation. The thing to keep in mind is to learn what that expectation is, and then be either figure out where you're going, where you're comfortable at within that societal norm that is within the internet. Communities have different ways that they move and breathe, and the individuals that come in and out of them will add spice to that community. They will help mold and shape who that community is. Ali has their community. I have a community. Every streamer in here has a community. They have, and while it is an important,
communities are the same.
No two communities aren't the same. But it's also important to stop and think for a second too, that as you, and this is, and I notice this more so because I go from community to communities just because of the nature of what Talk Tuesday is, right?
Absolutely.
Seeing the different ways that people live and breathe in those, and even you take the same person, and the same person in two different communities will behave slightly different because of what the community's societal norms is.
Yeah.
And so you could talk to somebody and they're one way here, and then you talk to them somewhere else and they're like, no, I don't do that like that.
Totally different person.
Over here. Totally different person. And that's actually normal, because as individuals, and we'll borrow your statement here, as flesh bags that we are still we still like to feel like we belong at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So you will model your behavior out of what's norm for the community that you're currently participating in, and that's perfectly normal.
Absolutely.
The thing I would say is, don't put yourself in a point where you agree with the societal normal of that community, but it's outside of your personal comfort zone. Like you need to know when to walk away from that sort of thing. Like that still exists even now. Like, I wouldn't say go join a cult, because hey, I'm okay with joining a cult. Like, no, don't if you're not okay with that, don't do it. I know people who play Cult of the Lamb. I'm not a big believer in cults. So as a general standpoint, I don't actually join a lot of cults. I don't join in the game. It's not that I don't want to participate. It's not that I don't like hanging out and having fun. I just don't agree with that. Like, to me, it's kind of an ick. And so they're like, hey, you want to be part of the cult? Not really. I'm here. I'm hanging out. We're all having a good time. We'll laugh. We'll joke. Everything else. That's a personal boundary. I'm not okay with it. I know it's just a game. But for me, it's an ick.
Yeah.
So
and that's super fair.
Yeah.
Setting your boundaries. So we have, weirdly enough, this comes from a gambling advertisement here in Canada, but it's know your limit, play within it.
Yep.
Understand what your boundaries are. Don't push your boundaries. Stay within those boundaries. Respect yourself. Respect your mental health. That's kind of like a big area of which I'd learned. I had to learn this the hard way, and I still sometimes am learning it. But it's an important lesson to learn to like navigate through the internet.
That being said, we are just getting started in 2025. It's a big, big year ahead of us. We have a lot of time between now and the end of it. Is there anything in particular that you have coming up that we can get a sneak peek on, like some planned celebration, something you want to call out that you're doing later on that you're like, hey, you don't want to miss out on that?
Yeah, actually. So I think I know where we're going for our raid target, because this Friday I'll be playing D&D on his channel.
Mm-hmm.
And then actually on February 2nd, I'm going to run a D&D one-shot on my channel. It's something we do every now and again. I have 3 set up for the year. I don't know when the next 2 are. But the...
Have a cow.
Have a cow.
We love the cow.
The first one of the 3 will be February 2nd at 1 o'clock PST. And we're calling it Fools and Fables because everyone gets to play as a fairy tale creature. And I, the DM, who has written this module by hand, can tell you it's going to be a lot of fun. This is probably my best module to date.
Nice.
I have put so much blood, sweat, and tears into this. I mean, also, so I've had a lot of time to put blood, sweat, and tears into this, and a lot of very sudden energy to do so. Thank you, personal tragedies. And needing to learn how to cope with things.
Sometimes.
Blessings in disguise, I guess?
I guess.
Not to have an entirely fucked up sense of humor, but just a little bit is fine.
Coping mechanisms are an interesting thing. Everybody copes with things differently.
Absolutely.
And it's important to have a coping mechanism and be able to cope. Blood, Sweat, and Tears. That could be a podcast name.
A D&D podcast called Blood, Sweat, and Tears. It's just grim, dark fantasy. It's the berserk of D&D.
Hey, you're talking about D&D stuff, and later on this year, the FAFO group is actually planning on doing regular one-shot D&D campaigns where we bring in guest DMs and as well as guest players every one-shot. It would be 2 weekends for that, and yeah, the idea is we're creating a persistent world where it's go out and do a thing, and it's all about building up an adventure guild in a town. And we have
then hopefully I will see you there so you can then vet me as an option one way or the other.
Hey, we're happy to have.
Really?
Either way.
That's actually one of my dream kind of like, if I were to own like my own kind of business, DEF CON would be like a game store.
Right. I always wanted a comic book shop when I was a kid.
There is something I can plug. I have a small little library that I've built with my community for tabletop role-playing games that are not D&D. and we all feed in these PDFs that are just core rule books or adventures that we've made accessible to each other, and that
Mhm.
way we can kind of like explore the world of tabletop role playing games. And my
Nice.
god, is it fun.
It sounds exciting. Sounds like something very interesting to do. Well, there you go. Well, we got one more question for you.
Hit me.
And that's the other half of plagues. I'm like, hey, that's mine. Hands off. You can't have that one. So we ask all of our streamers, and we have been doing so. I've got plans to actually go through and collect all of these little useless bits of not useless, but these little bits of pearls of wisdom, and put them into a very long YouTube video. Because I think it's interesting. It's a good. Well, there's a lot of really good advice from a lot of different individuals based on their own experiences and what they've learned through time and whatnot. But if you had the chance to go back and either whichever makes it easier for you, telling a brand new up and coming streamer or an earlier version yourself, what would be the single piece of advice that you would give to either one? That you're like, if I had known this at that time, that could have saved me so much heartache, so much hassle, so much whatever. That one piece of crucial information.
Ironically, this is writing advice that was given to me a while ago. And it is about... So for me, this came... The reason why this advice hit so hard is because it was about like writing scripts and coming up with ideas. And the advice is, if you... It sounds really harsh, but you are not unique in your taste. And what that means is, if you like it, there will be a community for it.
It's a very accurate thing.
You know, as much as everyone is unique and different, there is a way that, like, you might have this very specific thing you like. There is inevitably someone else out there. There is always a community for it. So do not limit yourself into a specific trope or thing that you have to do, because there will be a community that will find you and will love you no matter what you end up doing.
That's an excellent piece of advice.
It sounds really harsh at the start, and then
really.
you break it down and you're like, okay, actually this makes a little bit of sense.
No, not so, like, I don't think it sounds harsh at all. Like, some of the best advice is blunt and simple, straight and to the point. We're not mincing words. We're not, you're not trying to be like constructive criticism is the same way. There's a reason why it's constructive criticism.
Yeah.
This is all about trying to help. Like, good advice is one that helps you by pointing you in a direction, but does not give you all the answers. Right.
There's a niche for every bitch. Yeah, there's a niche for every bitch. Absolutely.
I like that.
There's a niche for every bitch. That's actually perfect. That's a better way of saying what I just said.
See, I don't have to. That just needs to be a.
That's a shirt.
That does. It needs to be a shirt or a coffee cup, or our store slogan was a player for every game and a game for every player.
And that's so true. Like, everyone is. There is such a wide diversity of people, which means there's such a wide diversity of taste. And like, this came from like writing, and one of the things was like, I had this idea that I'm only finally starting to work on, because it took me forever to find confidence in the idea that it would work. And now I've been iterating on it for a hot minute, and I've found an artist, and we're going to turn it into like a webtoon, something free to post.
Mm-hmm.
But having that confidence and going, you know what? Put it out there. Whatever you do, they will come.
Yeah. Get it out there. Get started. Start Start doing the thing.
And then the other like tag phrase we used to say in writing is you can't edit an empty page. People can't watch an empty channel at the same time.
Amen to that as well. Amazing. It's fantastic. Well, Allie, I do want to thank you for your time this evening. This has been a delightful conversation.
It's been my pleasure.
Learned...
Thank you for having me.
Wasn't nearly as bad as you thought it was, huh?
Was not. I would do it again in a heartbeat.
I may hold you to that.
Bet. You say that, but I just bet. Fucking let's go.
Let's do it. Let's go. I say that as so starting next month in February, we're actually going to an every other week Talk Tuesday instead of an every week.
Oh yeah, I was noticing that.
Well, so that's being done because I think I'm going to start taking the in between Talk Tuesdays and start bringing people back in. You know, as a post check in, like here you are after a year, how's things going? As well as I want to see if I can't start putting together people that wouldn't normally show up together in same channel.
Oh my God, it's like actors on actors.
And start having like a big group conversations, right?
Oh my God, it's like actors on actors. I love that series.
So, maybe bring you in and sit you next to DEF CON and we do another Talk Tuesday with you and DEF CON or something like that.
It's just me and DEF CON just riffing on tabletop role-playing games for 3 hours. No other questions asked. Nothing else happens today. DEF CON and I just created an entire D&D, entire tabletop role-playing world. DEF CON, remind me to send you the library if you're interested.
It's fantastic. But yeah, I mean that's kind of the thought process. Yeah, group talk with Tuesdays.
That is such a good idea.
Yeah, and so the idea is bring back in people who have participated in a previous Talk Tuesday, and then get them talking with other people. You never know who you're going to meet. You never know what kind of conversations you're going to have. And every Talk Tuesday has been like absolutely a memorable moment. It's always been a good time.
I'm so glad because this is such a fun idea.
I'm glad you enjoyed yourself as we go into this. So we're going to do the last couple of things that we always do here. It's tradition. We have traditions around here.
Okay.
And you may not like them, but they are a thing. So we're going to start out with the first. It's the normal Twitch shout out. For those of you who don't know, there should be a little heart that just showed up in your chat channel. If it's not lit up, quite frankly, you've been here long enough by now. I'm sorry, you're fucking doing it wrong. Get a clue. Push the little button. Make certain it's lit up. Go check out Allie Cutie Pie next time they go live. It is an absolute thrill, a moment. It's a good time.
It's something.
If you need any examples, well, you've sat through an entire Talk Tuesday with this fantastic individual. It's a good time. Seriously. That and the other thing that I love doing is we also do a video shout out. So we give people examples of your.
Oh no, it's a clip. Oh no, what am I going to say? What stupid shit? Oh, it's the real Muppet. It's the real Muppet. That's probably one of my cleanest. I did tell someone to go fuck themselves, but that is probably one of my cleaner clips.
Well, so what you're saying is I should do that again, and we should see if we get something else.
Shit.
I mean,
you really want to test your luck tonight, huh? Speaking of Hollow Knight. God,
it's just you laughing like a maniac.
Cackle. Yeah, no, I have a cackle, and this was one of those moments where I got to just because this was my first playthrough of Hollow Knight, and everyone was very excited that I was going to get tricked, and I got to destroy all expectations in one fell swoop. It was glorious.
Oh, excellent.
They were so mad. Get wrecked, my chat. Get absolutely wrecked. Y'all fuckers can get wrecked.
There you go. Right. Now, normally what ends up happening is I usually just kind of go off and close off, but I have started a new thing this year that I have really been enjoying. And that is I take the guest with me to the closeout screen and we go and chase everybody out of here as we head on out for the evening. So you don't get to get away that easy. It's been so much more fun.
Well, no, because we got to talk after stream anyways. Because I have to. I was told to remind you about something. Do we remember this?
No.
Shit.
Do you remember?
Fuck. That's the problem. Is that I don't 100% remember what I was supposed to remind you of.
I remember what it is now. Never mind.
Oh,
I remember what
I'm
it
so
is.
glad one of us did.
I remember what it was now.
Oh,
I don't know how relevant
fantastic.
it'll be, but we'll cover that.
It's fine. We can talk about it after.
we get it. We'll get it. It's fine. I remember it now. But your target. Where did you want to go? I need a name.
We're gonna go visit my DM for the Friday game. This is how I plug the Friday game because it's gonna be on his channel.
There you
So
go.
if you want to see,
It works.
because it's legally distinct Power Rangers. In that we are all playing Rangers.
Okay.
So
that's
it is
fantastic.
Jolly Green Carl.
Oh, didn't he show up
Yeah.
earlier?
Yeah, he did.
Was
He came in.
the-
He's live now. It was him being like, "Hi," and then he went live.
I see. I actually
Which
think
I
I'm
knew.
following him.
I actually helped him earlier with the Roll20 stuff in preparation for Friday.
Yeah, Jolly Green Carl. Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
Neen, Nom Zombabe introduced us to Jolly Green Carl.
Nice.
Believe it or not, I'm like, I where do I know him from? We were doing Valheim, and Neen's like, yeah, go raid Jolly Green Carl, and so that's how we ended up.
Hey,
over there.
Carl's great. And he's actually doing prep for that Sunday game, which is perfect.
Well,
or that Friday
there
game.
you go. That'll
So
work.
It's nice and poignant.
Casey, it was lovely meeting you. Thank you for coming by for the stream. I hope that you had fun.
Thanks, Casey, for coming.
As far
Thanks,
as the
Guilford.
rest
Thanks,
of you,
Ultron.
stick
And
around.
Plague.
We're going to the end screen, but we're not done just yet. We are not done just yet. You thought you were getting away that easily? No, it doesn't work that way.
Don't you fucking leave before the raid out.
It's fine. It's fine. We're all professionals at it. Just like, that's the end screen. I love doing that. It's so much fun. It's got a nice little song that goes along with it. It beats in the background. You're like, yeah, this is a good time. But I just love that.
That was very cute.
And that's the end screen. Dink.
Dink.
It's like sneak it in there every time. I'm like, yeah, just talk. And there's the end screen. Like, oh, wait, that came out of nowhere. What the hell?
Make him scream. Fuck. Hold on. Let me go yell at him.
Making Allie do impromptu math. Yes, 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go.
I can only count to 4.
Well,
Oh, man, that was
you count
really
to 4 and
fun.
you hit the golf ball.
No, that's when I hit someone
that-
else with the golf ball.
Oh, is that how that works? I see.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah, because it's supposed to be when you're about to hit someone.
Is that how that works? Oh.
Yeah, you
Wow.
shout it when you think that it's going into an area with other people so that they know to be like, oh shit, duck and cover.
Good luck on
That
that
is,
one.
oh, someone's fucked up incredibly badly.
Uh,
Do we have a raid
now,
message?
yeah, we do have a raid message. I actually have all of that. We'll hit that up here just a minute because we'll
okay,
put that up
perfect.
there as we set up the raid to go out. But I like to wait till the music gets done and then we do all the closeouts. We remind everybody that if you would
Oh,
like
they can
to
still
be-
hear us.
Yes.
I didn't know that. I'm gonna yell at Chris out loud. I'm gonna yell at Chris out loud for that fucking math comment. I thought we were nice and muted.
No.
Look, I'm dumb. Don't worry about it.
I pranked her on the way out the door. How you like that? There you guys go.
God damn it.
Hey, you're welcome. No, so this is the point where we remind everybody that if you would like to see yourself up on a Talk Tuesday, well, look down at the bottom. There are all sorts of open date slots filled up there, open up there. If you would like to be on Talk Tuesday, reach out. Let me know. I'm happy to have you here. And again,
10 out of
it's
10
been
would
an-
recommend. I know some of you
Absolutely.
bitches stream.
For Tuesday. I heard you like, yeah, I need to go shout at him, and I'm like, okay. And I was waiting for you to shout at him, and then I just see you start typing in the chat. I'm like, fair.
And you
Okay,
didn't
that's how
say
you wanna do it.
anything?
No,
And you
I'm
didn't
like, okay.
say it? You let me?
Yep. I will
The
do it again. 10 out of 10.
betrayal. And it's only a Tuesday? Dude, you don't know what my week's been like. Were you there yesterday when I was talking about my Monday at work?
Yes, I was there for that.
For the mouse poop all over my desk? And now I
Yeah.
get pranked? What? What is this week?
This is a typical Talk Tuesday. That's all I got to say.
Oh,
Thank you for coming by and hanging out. This has been delightful.
thank you
I
for
hope you
having
had
me.
a
I've
good
been
time.
looking forward to it. It was fantastic. I can't wait to get revenge in golf.
There you go. That's where you keep that up. Like, remember, revenge in golf. We'll do this again in golf, which we do on a regular basis. If not, just hit me up. If you ever play golf, I'm always down for a game of golf. Let's
Play
see.
golf like David.
Jolly Green. Make sure I can spell this right. Carl. It would help if I was actually typing in the. There we go. So there are the raid messages. The first ones are for all the subscribers. The second one's for all you followers. If you look in there, it even is customized to you.
Oh my god. Oh Lord.
How's that for fancy, right? Whichever one.
Yeah, seriously, you got your shit together.
Yeah, grab it, copy it, get ready to spam it. We'll go say hi to Carl. This is good to be. It's certain to be an absolute delightful time. Again, if you've enjoyed yourself, we've had Ali Cutie Pie as our guest for the evening. It's been a fantastic evening. Thank you again. And if you want to say any parting words, now's your chance. Okay, time's up. No. No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I know. I was fully doing a bit, which is so funny that you cut me off in that way. Because I was like, this is actually really funny if I just keep going and see when he cuts me off. And you shut that shit down so fast. Oh my god. No, thank you for having me. It's been an absolute blast to be here. It was lovely to get to talk with your community, and hopefully I will be back in one form or another. If anything, just as the vengeful ghost from the Muppets Christmas Carol.
There you go. Until next time, bye all.
Hasta la bye-bye.